What's up, BMT? Right up here. Like, damn.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey, man. Yeah, I just came through. We just coming up. We just trying to get some. I like that. Where'd you get that from? You be getting some Thor. The old North.
I had, I was debating some Anglo-Saxons.
Oh, really?
It was,
Where was this at?
it was on the counter channel. It was on the counter channel. Like they were talking to me about how America's crumbling
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. So they were telling me how we need to come together.
Oh, they said that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they said, well, I said, well, how can you ask me to come together? And you can't even acknowledge the atrocities of things that you've done.
Wow.
And I said, oh, okay, well.
Get over it, did they say?
Well, yeah. They're telling me about somebody started telling me about how the best way they said. Well, my family was Irish, and so I said, listen, man. I said, let me shut some of that down.
Right.
I said, for instance, your people. I said, whenever y'all use Irish, and somebody dies, did they not have an Irish funeral? Right. People who ain't Irish got to get in line and go, listen to bagpipes and y'all got police department, fire department. Y'all are systematically in
the
spots of power, and unions and different other things. Okay. So where's all this getting at? I said, show me where that of the Negro, American Negro, could have done that. And I said we couldn't have done that because every time we did do that, it was either destroyed or it was broken down or disbanded. And I said after a while, we started becoming nomadic.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people say, let's keep on going, let's keep on doing it. While other people, we got tired of fighting.
Yep.
And I can't lie, I have my days where I'm just like, listen, man, I don't feel like doing all that fighting shit. Like, listen, I gotta worry about mine.
Right.
But then the other day, I understand why I had to pick up the sword. I don't want to pick up the sword, but I had to pick up the sword. So,
based on what you said, because that's kind of deep. And even though we didn't get a real straight up introduction, guys, just for anybody listen to a little bit of the playback, this is one of those shows that we do want to have these type of conversations about these belief systems. It could be anything, so it's not just limited. Everybody jumps on the religious thing, which is good. We can hit the religious stuff up. Because that's the stuff that everybody, jumps on, and it's kind of fun, I guess. But, it's also the things of the certain, like you said, the politics type of situations, and, these little held, especially like the white folks, white people can come up you know, y'all think that y'all supposed to just be able to keep it moving because now you feeling some of the heat. You know, I feel like they're saying America is falling. Negro, come help us. BMT, help us. Come together with us now that we feel heat. You see? And now it's like, wait a minute. Remember all of this when we were saying?
It is a problem. All right, good night, baby. I think it is a problem. That's one reason why I uh I grew up conservative
Mm-hmm.
and Christian, and but more so of a traditional conservative.
Mm-hmm.
This is not talking about no this idealism cult talk of MAGA, Make America Great. But I said, well, tell me when was it great for that of the Black American? And I specifically in this talk, if people are listening, I say Black American, and then it is not no disrespect or being disingenuous, but I have to make sure that my children eat first, because my children have been starved out of many different things, and by the time they do eat or they are given something or I am given something, it's at a point now where there's nothing really left. You know, they give me a neck bone, but there's no meat on the neck bone. They give me a bone. They give me the books, but when they give me the books, everything comes at a cost. Everything come at a cost, and you know, a lot of people say, "Oh man, you just did like." It's to the point now because we're in 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody says, "Well, Joe, do you BMT? Do you not believe in America?" No, I do not believe in America. I was a dog for America. I served America as a faithful servant, as a soldier. But America has not served me.
Mm.
Do you not believe in the church? I do not believe in the church. I said I was born and became a born but more again believer in Christian since I was a child. However, I see the church and certain religious practices fail to answer the call of what I need. They more shuck and jive for that of appeasement, where that of a systematic government, the same one that put um, certain systems in place on us, they go there every year and sit on the porch or eat fried chicken and collard greens with them. And I said, how does that work? Somebody who talks to God sits with the same system that put us here. So I was praying to that of God, but why the same system is talking to God and having a lunch with the people who talk to God. So which God do you pray to? The systematic God, or you pray to that of the Abraham God? And
Mm.
so there is a failure, and I don't always talk like this. I stopped sharing how I talk. I stopped sharing on how I think. That's why I said it's easier. It's easier to just go along and just build a pyramid now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because we're at this point now. That's why I say action versus beliefs. You know, I have to believe in that of the actions that I will do now.
Mm.
It's hard to tell. Um, I want to work with blacks, but we're too scattered to where we've been starved out.
Right.
But at any means you can turn on your own.
Yeah. A
You can
dog
turn on your own. Right.
ravaging.
Yeah, right. So you know what I'm saying? This is why I said, like, people say, come together, come together. No, At what convenience?
See,
It's not a real come together when only a situation happens. It's not a real come together. We only can come together when there's a problem. Then truly, you never believed in each other. I'm only there when you need me. And that's what you see in black men and women doing now, especially on social media. When some situation happened, my brother, Mike, help me.
I
Help me.
need you now.
I need you now. Oh, but you didn't need me when you was on your up and up. You need me now when you down. So you never believed in your brother. You through your actions, you show you only just need your brother at your convenience. You know,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, do you only pray? My grandma said, "Do you only pray to God when you need God,
Mm.
or do you? But that means your actions speak different than your belief. You know,
See, that's the thing right there. You hit the nail where I was actually going at, because that's the thing. So we always say stuff. We say these good things like, oh, I believe in Jesus. And then who is Jesus? And then here's this book, and then you start saying all these good things, Jesus love and all this stuff. But you don't do that. But you believe in that. Okay, but what do you do? Oh, I'm over here cheating on the pastor's wife with his wife and daughter at the same time. Damn, really? Oh, I'm selling drugs to people. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it's just because I wasn't raised right, or I had this disadvantage. So you always got an excuse. But I thought you believed in Jesus. I do, but maybe I'm going to hell, but we got these excuses. I was over here doing porn, but I thought you believed in good stuff, like Muslim stuff. That you was a Muslim, but you out here tricking. You out here smoking, selling dope, and doing other than what you're supposed to be doing. And then the point is, it's just like what you actually are. So it's just like when you're talking to these people, when you said you was debating these people. I pulled this up. You know Marcel, right? And
okay, go ahead.
you know Marcel, right?
Uh-uh.
Oh, you don't know Marcel Dixon? He from down there. He was running for those. You know him? Yeah,
That's the man that was running for office.
Yeah, yeah. He running for office down there by you.
Mm. Yeah, now I'm gonna tell you this about some of these politicians.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell you about some of these politicians. If I only care about you when you are trying to get into office, but I don't hear about you versus the guy who cuts people's grass and do certain communal things. Only time I start hearing about you is I guess when you need the money
He
or you
was a
trying to get
teacher
into
though. You got to check him out though, BMT, because the only reason why he's a little different. I think he's a little bit different than the average politician. He kind of, even though, like you said, he got some fault. He got a lot of big faults, but I'm not worried. See, that's another thing too. People got to understand. Everybody got something you can hone on. You can say that's negative. But I'm looking at, I'm just looking at a little bit bigger range of stuff that people are dealing with. But I don't know if you remember, like, so like with him, he's pushing now. He's liable to change, because they get into the cesspool of politics. I don't know why you're running for office, because really and truly, like you just said, I don't mean, it's all good. People sometimes believe in America, whatever. But I mean, the thing is, he's kind of been active on other stuff, a lot of stuff, like all through because he tried to run for office through Clyburn. He tried to run through office through Clyburn. What's up, Leroy? And
what it is.
what's up? Yeah, he tried to run through office with Clyburn, but you know he didn't win that because ain't nobody knew where he was from you. You didn't even know who he was, which I was surprised. But the thing is, he's kind of been real active, and so no. But remember that one chick, Marianne Williams, who was trying to push for reparations.
Yes.
All right, so here she is trying to run again. Right now, Marcel is pushing for some real reparations for Black folks, but the thing is, this is a little bit of debate because you see something here, and I'm just gonna play it, and then I just want us to look at it just real quick because I like actually both of them. I like Marianne because even though she was a white lady, she actually pushed for it, reparations, at first, but we'll see. Let me see something. Hold on. Let me play this real quick.
One, I ran for office, and I'm running yet again against the king maker, James Clyburn. But my attitude, if you're the king maker, then your district should be living like royalty, and they're not. So I know exactly how they try to shame you, exclude you, and slander your name. And my thing is this: we as Americans need to go backbone. Okay, when did we start worrying? Well, see, I'm a Black American Gullah Geechee. We've always had to stand up and fight for everything. And I know you was talking about how things used to be. Well, I was born, my great grandparents are still alive. My great grandparents were all still alive except one. And they told me the good old days for y'all weren't good old days for them. So they're used to having to fight and be slandered and be excluded and be denigrated. I want to thank you for being, and I'm going to say this because they like to say man enough. I'm going to thank you, a woman, for being man enough to do not what's popular, not what's easy, yes, but what's right. Yes. And you're running on a reparations platform. And that's the right thing to do. Now, I do want to give you some pointers if you're open to it about your reparations plan, because I face.
So right here, he's trying to be nice to her, but I don't know if you've seen how she's looking at him. I don't know. She's looking real suspicious at him because she's ready, but this keep looking because he's trying to be nice to her because she does have a little bit of a reparations platform.
Hey, real quick. Hey, what he just pointed out, what Marcel just pointed out, though, is y'all know the slogan that Trump ran on, "Make America Great Again." I said this from the very beginning. America has never been great for everybody at the same time, for everyone. And he just hit that with what he said.
Yep.
With one of the things he said.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. The fact that he told us in his lineage. Mm-hmm. He told them his lineage.
Yep.
And that was a very key point to the reparation argument. Is you just say, well, how you know how far back you go or who you are? I'm showing you. There's the reason. He said, I am Gullah Geechee. In other words, I am one of the very direct descendants of this whole conversation. Mm-hmm. And so I stand by birthright the right to act, to push and tell you what we need. And from that's what it is. So he just said, no, he said, I am Gullah Geechee. You can go look us up historically. You put us on reservations. So it's very interesting that he brought up that, just like you hear somebody say, I'm Jewish, I'm Chippewa Indian. They'll tell you exactly when they start that. That means they're telling you the direct lineage of why they can speak for where they speak from. But go ahead.
Right. Hey, BMC, more than what we need, what we are old.
Right.
What we are old.
Now check this out. Now, like I said, he trying to go nice because I can see because he's actually a spitfire. He don't have a problem with starting up stuff with people. But
yeah, I can tell. Warlock found that out in Savannah.
Right, but I could tell with this one, He's actually trying to be nice to her. But let's listen some more. And like I said before, I actually pushed her a little, but I'm always suspicious. But if you're talking right, I'm gonna push you because I understand even your language. Just even if you're faking, but your language, if you're saying the right stuff and the right stuff is not being said yet, then I'll push you because the language out there to get expectation up is important too for at a certain point. But let's listen. Let me listen some more.
All kinds of backlash, which I gladly accept. I'm here for it. My ancestors who were fighting in these rice marshes and swamps didn't back down to the backlash. I will be an insult to my great grandmother who died at 101 if I back down because of people saying mean things to me. One, reparations comes from the federal government. It does not come from your tax dollars. America pays reparations every single day. They're paying it to Ukrainians right now. They're paying it when they take care of people in the country illegally and roll up to the trillions. They paid it to the Japanese Americans who were interned. Even though my great grandfather helped to save the Jews from the Nazis, he came back to America and he was locked out of the GI Bill, which gave trillions of dollars to mainly white veterans that they say built the middle class. And yet those same Jews right now are getting reparations. People in
Wait, I have to stop you. I am a Jew. What Jews right now?
All right, did you see that though? Now, this is his tweet because she stopped him. And he's like, everything he said was factual, but she stopped him as soon as he mentioned Jew. I am a Jew. What Jews are getting reparations?
And that's when you know the conversation now is going disingenuous.
You
right
see that? Right at that point. Because guess who's not? Now, we can talk about a lot of people on this platform. We can talk about Catholics. We can talk about blacks. We can talk about whites, Aryans. We can talk about
Native Americans.
But if we talk about a certain category of people a little bit too hard, and then this show will probably get canceled.
Quick.
I'll have to do that on Facebook, Twitch, and stuff.
Quick, fast, and nerd.
Yeah, because then, I already got 2 strikes for nothing. I don't understand why, but anyway.
You know why? Because they control the platform.
Right. So it's like, whatever. Okay, this y'all stuff. So we have to understand that we are being controlled and censored and directed with what we say. But at the same time, we still can't say a nice amount of stuff. But I just want to even, like you said, the conversation is disingenuous. Just like BMT, like he just said, he was talking earlier a little bit, Leroy. He was saying how he was talking to these white guys, and they're talking about we need to come together, right? Now, when you start saying your business, when you start telling the truth, he wasn't being mean to her.
What I done told you, Super Mike? Who the king and queens of the guilt trip? Them people and the alphabet crew. Yep. I mean, flat out, they run the guilt trip like no other, and we not even running the guilt trip. We just saying, hey, this is what it is. What y'all waiting on? You done did it everywhere else. That ain't a guilt trip at all. Those just flat out facts.
I mean, I would run the guilt trip if that works, but it don't really work.
No,
the guilt trip don't work. They use the guilt trip works on us. Okay, that's the deception. Because if they don't want to give you something, they don't care. You ain't getting it. But the reason why they run the guilt trip is because, because they want to give it to them for a reason.
And keep it from us.
Right. And that's the issue that a lot of folks like people who, and see, that's one thing, and so like on this program, so we're going to be, I don't like to call it devil's advocate, but like, even though I don't believe in some things, I may question y'all, like as if I don't believe it because I want to hear the response. So it's not like I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying? Because this is that type of show that I want to kind of make. So I might because it's like now truly and truly I don't believe, like you said, in the America that we are taught about. But like BMT said, some people fight for it. Give their lives for this system. They believe in the you know and all of this government stuff. I don't believe in none of this stuff, man. So it's hard for me to even question y'all. I don't believe in that. Like these running for offices and stuff, it's done, in my opinion. Like to me, this shows to me that she just running so that because a lot of people are checked out, so she knows what to say. So she's just saying, "Oh, here's your reparations," and yes, I was one of the ones who said, "Let's do it." But at the same time, when you start bringing down the list, it ain't. No, she got a problem.
Just like the NAACP out there in San Francisco.
Yeah, and that one weirdo. Yeah.
And the reason why they take that side step is because they know they owe us. Deep down they know it.
Well, I would say that some of them feel they don't, but they feel like some of them, from my conversations with them, okay, in person and even online, there's a few of them who really know the stuff. They know they owe, and actually a lot of them do want to just get it done. Like I can logically go through it with some people and be like, listen, this will be done. This racism thing, this will be all mainly done. It'll probably take a good 20 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Set up our little agreement of what's owed. 20 to 25 years. Spread that out. It's all good. And now we got the history. We're saying, okay, the children's children is like, yeah, way back in the day it was this bad, but now, this happened, and now, that's cleared up, or we're still, but now at this point in time, some people some people, I believe some of these guys, they don't want to lose that status. They really don't. The regular average white person who know they're not going, they know, like he just said, the money comes from the federal government. Ain't nobody going into their pocket straight up like, okay, you're a white person, let's go ahead and put some extra. No, they know that ain't true. And black folks, we already done paid our reparations. We pay taxes too. So, it's not like we getting something that we haven't actually paid. That's what he's saying there. He's saying, look, my grandfather bled to free this stuff. We here. We've been here. So we're not asking for, it's not even like you said, we're not even asking for something we haven't even paid for. We already paid our reparations for ourselves. So really it ain't fair, but we just ain't getting it. So, but I'm looking at how she defends her people. As soon as he cannot, as he said that one word, Jew. They can't
and the hairs on the back of their neck rose up.
They're taught that. And this is an older woman. See, so that's one thing I just wanted to put out. These people are taught this. They're taught
one of the discussions I ran into when confronting white people about reparations is that, and I think I done said this to you before, Mike, that they'll say, well, I don't want my children paying for it, and I tell them real quick, bro, look at the deficit. Look at the deficit. You think that's getting paid off? So
Well,
just go ahead and finish the deal and cut us our check.
well,
It ain't no skin off no really nobody's back. Just going and like you said, this racism thing, it'll be dealt with in a sense where it won't we'll still have the history of it, but it won't have the sting that it has now because we know they owe us. They know they owe us. And to try and put it on the states is a sidestep. Because like Marcel said, it's supposed to come from the feds. The feds cutting the check directly over there to the modern state of y'all know well.
yeah,
So stop trying to put it off on California and Illinois, the city of Chicago. You see what I'm saying? Why are cities who kick funds up to the feds and get money from the feds to do different projects, whatever they are, just going to do what you're supposed to do?
yeah, yeah.
I would the thing I look at this and this at this talk is the fact that um when it comes to this is first off you gotta ask yourself, do your children believe they deserve reparations? Do they
Mhm.
believe that? Because if that's the case, then the argument wouldn't be pushed so much against. If my enemy can talk my children out of why they shouldn't have it or
Yeah,
why they should do what they do, then honestly the money would even make much of a damn difference because then guess what?
yeah.
Um, it's just gonna go to waste.
And see,
You have
yeah,
right
you hit a good point. No, you hit a good point. Keep going on that. I'll get
so
mine after.
because the thing about it is, and you spoke about this when you said the belief.
Mm,
Like because right now one of the biggest issues you see now you have it where certain Black Americans don't believe that they deserve reparations.
mhm.
They believe so when your children already believe that they don't deserve it versus
Mhm.
those, then literally they just have to go reach out to those who don't believe in this type of process or this type of reason why we deserve it. Why do I need that? I
Mhm.
never done wrong to me. But see, so you'll never hear another group ever, ever,
Mhm.
ever, ever say why they believe their people should not get it. You understand me? And
Right.
the fact that they already got to where your people believe that they should not get it is showing you that hey, that's why our actions will match your belief.
See, exactly.
So because you believe that you can't take those funds or resources, you know what I'm saying? Because a reparation is not always it's not always financial.
Mhm.
Reparation is literally that of having an act an order from a certain system to be able to maneuver.
Right.
And literally that's the truth. That's the power when you can literally say, hey, y'all hurt or done this to us. That's why we should this is why we have to silence. When you can silence somebody's voice, that's power. That's power.
Censorship. Yeah.
That's when you say something about the Native Americans, they're on CNN saying why you shouldn't be allowed to say that. Say something about certain Asian groups, the Jewish groups. That is the power of that paper.
And
You
that's
know,
what we got to see. We need to see these little small things. The things that a lot of us taught that's small, that's nothing, then other groups understand that's power. Because
right.
you're dealing with conversation, you're dealing with some of the fundamentals of the human belief system, because the human belief system is power.
Right.
Like you're saying, that's what they're gonna do. It don't matter what's true and what's factual and all that stuff. It does matter, but kind of as far as what they're gonna do, it matters more what they believe and what they think. So that's what our job is, to convince them of this or that or whatever. And that's why you start having these religions. So that's when people will dealing with these religions and all this kind of stuff. You know, that's the point of that, where people get into all these elaborate religious systems, and it, you know, it's some good in it. It's a lot of good in it, actually, because you really, to me, I don't believe that you can throw away no religion. People, that's a joke. You can't throw away religion, and people start defining religion different now. They start saying, "Oh, spirituality," and this. Okay, well, I mean, that's fine. Okay, whatever. To me, it's the same thing, but I understand people got different. That's fine. Spirituality. Okay, we'll deal with the spirituality. I think what they're saying spirituality is that, okay, so you know that there's a supreme being, there's a spirit, but you just don't adhere to a certain book or doctrinal, you know, systematic method, which I don't. I understand what people thinking, but at the same time, that doesn't really work and function, because we see that unless you have a system behind it, you're going to get taken over. I mean, that's what it is. That's how they got us all. You know, we were sitting up. If you look at all of these different countries and places where you got Australia, all these different little tribes, and over in America, they had various tribes and little spiritual systems, and you know, down in South America and in Africa, little spiritual systems. They had their own little thing, and then somebody came in with one thing, one book, and was like, "Do or die." And guess who still is messed up? All of those places that had these little bitty individualistic stuff. Now they did attack, you know, let's say a little like China or whatever, but they have you know, they have their Shintoism, you know, the Muslims and stuff. They have you know, they have the Quran, and so anybody that got something in the Buddhists and the Hindus and stuff like that, they have their Vedas and stuff. So anybody that has like a religion, like a statewide thing that everybody do, they can withstand a spiritual attack. But these but these people who just out here, they really don't survive well, I don't think. They don't stand spiritual attacks. Their children don't withstand them good, because you might believe something, then your child look at you as a failure, and they're gonna go opposite of everything you said. So there's no continuity in just everybody doing whatever. That's the reason why it's weak. So I think I'm gonna be done with this Marcel thing, but I just wanted everybody to see how this woman, she attacked Marcel, not because he was mean to her, not because she disagreed with what he was saying up to that point, but she attacked him over a religion, her religion.
Right.
He mentioned, he said Jew got reparations, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
She looks like a Jew. I'm a Jew.
after the flesh.
Right away.
Jew after the flesh.
Hold on. I want to hear that again.
They say built the middle class, and yet those same Jews right now are getting reparations. People in
Wait, I have to stop you. I am a Jew. What Jews right now?
Wait. Hold on. She said, "I'm a Jew. What Jews are you talking?" Is that what she said?
Yeah. She said, wait, I have to stop you. What Jews are getting reparations? She know what Jews are getting reparations, but she want to see if he know.
I think,
I am a Jew.
and so again, that proves what I like I said, whereas to when he said, now look at when they called out their name. I first when Marcel started saying, "I am Gullah Geechee," he
Mm-hmm.
said, "My background. This is my bereavement."
Right.
Then the woman said, "Wait. I am a Jew."
See?
Now you call out, "Well, I am a Jew." So you see, this is why people got to understand that of the context of when you're having certain types of bereavement conversations. Who child are you?
Yep.
Well, my father's name is Mike. This is why. This is why your name has power. Your
Yes.
name has power. This is why certain groups or collectives have power. Because when you say it, they will answer to you. They will answer back, or a voice will answer back. So when you say, well, the system of a government or the federal government, that's a name, that's a power. When
Mhm.
you start speaking on reparations, that means you're bringing up to the forefront one group. Can't just say just Black American. Then they're gonna say, well, which Black Americans and
Mhm.
from what group? And see, now you got to answer. So, are you talking about slavery? Are you talking about Jim Crow? Which Black Americans? But then they'll start saying, well, we did this for this group. Well, then, so you have to be very. This is why I said you have to know your religion. Black Americans, you have to know your religion, of your
Mhm.
practice, of your belief, because they will challenge you. No
See?
different than the devil challenged Jesus. No different than how when certain people would go up to the prophet Elijah Muhammad and ask him, well, what you speak about, it talks about hate. Well, okay, so let's break down the word. And let me and tell me, and I'm gonna say something. Remember when they tried to pick apart Farrakhan when he talked about throwing a rock?
Yeah.
And he was like,
That's
no. Did you listen to what I said? Let me
right.
break apart what I said. See, this is why you got to have, and everybody can't speak. You got to have certain people who are trained and disciplined
Yes.
on how to speak and on how to, so that way their actions will show. And when it's time for that of a need, versus he spoke and said, "What Jew and what group of Jews?"
See?
And
Hey,
so
let me
people,
let's
go
hear
ahead.
his
My
part.
bad. I didn't mean to go too deep on
No,
that,
no,
Mike.
no, no, no. That's perfect. But you know what? I want to hear. See, this is the reason. I'm glad that you touched on everybody can't speak. I want everybody to understand that because that is a fact. Okay, and it's not because everybody's stupid. It's because different folks have gifts. Like we are taught,
Mhm.
even in Nation of Islam and the FOI, and just one man speak. If y'all doing something, one person speak. Don't know how about a bunch of people start speaking here and there. It's one person. Just shut up, and he knows what it's talking about. Everybody just stand there and look and keep track. One man speak because and everybody know who that is. Usually wherever you going, everybody already know who's speaking because it's just that's just you. Everybody know who knows what's going on. So that right there is key. And Marcel is very gifted in speaking because I like the way he responded. Because a lot of people would have felt betrayed by this weird chick, but even though, but he kept his composure, and she asked him something, and he jumped right into it. But hold on, I should just play it for y'all.
What Jews right now are getting reparations?
The Jews were
Everything you
Holocaust
just
survivors.
explained.
The Jews were Holocaust survivors.
But they're not getting reparations from the American government.
No,
They're not
what
getting.
the American government did in 2014 agreed to facilitate a $12 million payback to Holocaust survivors.
That had nothing to do with the U.S. government giving
No,
money
the
to
U.S.
the
government
Jews.
did facilitate that payback.
That
did happen.
facilitation is with an administrative Germany.
Okay.
Germany paid reparations
Well,
to
so
the
my
Jewish
point is,
organization.
but
The
my
United
point,
States did not pay
but
reparations.
the United States government facilitated, and the point still exists. Me, a descendant of American slaves, haven't seen a penny yet. At the end of slavery, and I know you probably know these numbers, $42 to $84 trillion was the value of those of us who were enslaved. And I like the fact that you're running on reparations, but you have $1 trillion as the amount, and that is insultingly low. And I understand that you may have to make it palatable because to the American public.
Now, you see how he got her? She shut up. Did y'all see that? She tried to take over. I'm a Jew. She came with authority, and then she tried to ask him, put him on the spot to see if he could back up his claim. And you see how he had the numbers, he had the year, and his point was still valid. And she had to shut up, and he started getting her on her stuff. We gotta learn that.
Oh, look, yeah, exactly. We gotta learn how to use what they put before us against them. And I say that because when we look at what we were taught about World War II, and that the Nazi did X, Y, and Z, but now in this time frame, we know that America is paying them reparations, but we also know that then America was funding Hitler. Right. We know that now. It's not a mystery. So if you are paying, they are paying them reparations. If that is the basis, because they also funded Hitler, well, you just snatched generational wealth from us,
right, at
every turn. So what he did is exactly what we all need to do for those who do the speaking. Take what they put before us, hold up a mirror, and use it against them. Mm-hmm. That's when you get what Marcel just did to her. You get them to sit down and hush their mouth. Because they're confronting
Black America. We got everybody speaking right now. Imagine if he would have messed up and got mad at her, embarrassed themselves in front of all them good white women's.
Oh yeah, then they'll take that as a reason not to be take it what he's saying seriously.
Right. And see now, because if you can discredit the speaker, you can discredit the whole system of message, even though he might be saying something good and valid, but because he messed up and he said something stupid or looked stupid or did something stupid, now all that's dumb. I'll throw it all away. All that. Throw that whole thing away. What?
Oh yeah, look, they're gonna take it and ride.
Yeah, that's what they like. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, like you said, with the little manosphere thing and with all of these different talking points. You know, they got everybody just on it, just saying the dumbest stuff. Everybody getting on line, and they promote it. Some people saying some of the stupidest and weirdest stuff. You know, going overseas, embarrassing black. They don't even understand. Like when they go overseas. You know, everybody says leave the passport bros alone. Look, when you go overseas and you make videos and you start talking about the overseas women versus your own woman and you saying stupid stuff, now you're reflecting on all of Black American. Because even the black man who don't know nothing about passport bros or anything, just because he goes over there, he's being looked at now on a certain level. Because of these videos.
Yeah. I mean, the same is done when you look at movies, and they know this, and that's done intentionally. And we know who runs Hollywood when they put out movies that paint us in a certain light. That, and this is going mainly back to the 90s, but you can go back further than that. Black exploitation films, or even all the way back to Amos and Andy. The people that control Hollywood put that image of us out there the same way they do Africa. They would have you believe, we done had this talk before, Mike. They would have us believe that all of Africa is just jungle, and our people that's there just still running around butt naked and living in huts. And that's not what it is over there. Sure, there are some, but that by and far that is not the complete story. And they would love for it to stay incomplete.
That's the
tell what is real.
from morning till night.
What's up?
Lived in a shack.
That's the true story right here. What the heck? Yeah, that's the true story. There's people living in huts right here. There's people living in tents right here in San Francisco.
Downtown Atlanta on the sidewalk in the tent.
Billionaires getting stabbed up, sliced up. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Ravaging, eating people, eating hearts and stuff.
Living under underpasses.
Oh, well, see, that's nice. You live on the underpass. You got a brick, stuff. I'm talking about.
Hey, look, it ain't nice when the people that look like you that's over the city come through with these boulders and put them under the underpasses, so you can't even be there anymore.
Oh, they do the same thing here. They move, they ship them on out. They have a whole squad that just kind of keeps them moving. They put them on buses and shit. They have little city wars around here in this little zone of California. They have they'll put them on. They either go to jail or they go to they get on the bus and they'll send them to another city, a rival city. Yeah, they do that.
Oh, no doubt, and they'll do it to further their end. And the example I give of this is what happened here with the when 85 caught on fire and quote caught on fire and collapsed because Basil Ellaby was doing crack and set a shopping cart on fire, and
Really?
it caught some plastic reels on fire that ignited the whole expressway. And
it was a bunch of tires under there, wasn't it?
well, it wasn't tires. It was you know what interduct is, right?
Yeah, it's just holes and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's plastic tubing that you use to pull wire through, or so it was huge rolls of that was stored under the expressway, and that caught on fire. But the person that was the mayor, Kasim Reed, they blamed Basil Ellaby, but Kasim Reed gave $5,000 from the city to this homeless white couple that said, yeah, Basil did it, and sent them to Arizona. We'll never hear from them again. We will never hear from them again because he gave them that for them to leave, and that's the end of the story, even though it's not. They tried to put it on Basil, and if it was Basil, then why wasn't Basil prosecuted? They made an attempt to, but there were some black lawyers that came to his defense, and Basil is not doing any time behind this because it was not him. You know, and to see how fast that they rebuilt that part of 85 in like 30 days, and they told the people, you know, the companies that did the work, look, we're gonna pay you the same amount of money no matter how long you take. So you already know what that is. Get in there and get it done. Let's get out and get our bread. 30 days, they did a whole huge section of 85, but you know, moving past that point, road construction projects happening here and all over America should never take that long ever again. Just go on and knock it out.
Video. You know who Psychopatheist is, BMT? This is a guy. I'm trying to find this critical video. Anyway, I'm gonna get into some of these questions here with
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is right there. That's him. Okay, so I'm gonna put myself on the chopping block first. So this is Psychopatheist. He made this video. Let me see who else got on here. Yeah, so he made a video that's critical of the religion of Nation of Islam and Nation of Islam exposed. And you know, I just wanted to he put a lot of stuff in here. I can't do everything, of course, but you know, it's okay. He said made a whole documentary. But the thing is, with documentaries, if you could present something, but are you? It's like this is what we can do. I think we can make a claim, and it's not about changing what people want to believe, but it's about hearing both, or at least a number of perspectives, because just like we got the Bibles, we got Qurans, we got people believe in Egypt stuff, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's something to it. You got to study it. You got to look into it. And so that's one thing I do agree with some of the people that when they say spirituality versus religion. This is what I do agree about that. The spirituality part is from what I heard, and that some of them are describing that I do agree with on that, is the fact that the truth is more important than a doctrinal the way you were taught, because a lot of times we're going to naturally defend the first thing we were taught, because that's our parents, or wherever we got it from. That's what that's the first way we heard it. If you learned to make scrambled eggs a certain way, and you start liking them, and they're supposed to be a little runny to you, and somebody else learned to make scrambled eggs a little different, and when y'all gonna be like, man, that's not how you do it, bro. This is look, because that your way is the right way, the way that worked for you. Okay, but you sometimes don't consider that there is several different there's several different answers to that same question, and a lot of our systems of belief or religious, because of wars in history. And keep in mind, when we get into the doctrinal little stuff of these religious, especially the orthodoxies of these religions, we are getting into some of the ancient history that's older than us, than our lifetime. So the fact that this thing had a war with this other thing, it's going to factor into the teaching of it. So like somebody says, oh, there's only way, you can only listen to this, or you don't read those books. Those are, what do you call that? Heresy or something. You can't look at that. You can't look at this. You can't look at that. Those type of ideas, a lot of times, they're, that's not spirituality, because you're just kind of going, because that's a result of some kind of war. Because the thing is, your heritage is your heritage. If you're a part of this community, you're just a part of that community, period. It doesn't matter what you learn. Like if you learn something, you just learn something. The truth is what's most important. But if the truth threatens some previous, and when I say the truth, we can get into that too. But
Let's do it.
But even the truth as you actually believe. So now, let's say, even though you may not admit something, but in your heart of hearts, you kind of say, dang, something's wrong here. I'm weak here on this understanding. And then when you go dig your deep dive or whatever, you still kind of don't like what you're seeing. But that doesn't mean you make a conclusion, because especially if you know that you don't have enough information, you just hold up and just let it keep moving until you get your answer through with time. Sometimes that's important too, because you'll run across, sometimes we want to hurry up and make a conclusion based upon some information we just seen on a documentary. You can't make no conclusion like that. You got to check it out yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to really check stuff out. So with something like this, if this is all that I was looking at, then I'll be like, oh, hell no. Because I don't know, you don't have nothing else to base it on. Like if I was looking at what he put here, like, Noble Drew Ali is crazy.
Marcus Garvey. Timothy Drew, who had changed his name to
Listen to the music.
Noble Drew Ali, had started his own form of black nationalism and religion. By 1928, Drew Ali's movement had set up 17 temples in the United States of America.
Now, just off the rip, he making them sound bad.
With that music, that foreboding music.
Timothy Drew, who changed his name to Noble Drew Ali. That tells me that you're not respecting this man. He changed his name. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, that's fine. Everybody's got the. Okay, do I got good quality? You know what? Yeah.
Within reason, everyone has the right to change how you address them, and the reason you already know what I'm saying within reason, because today, you have some would say identity politics, but it's all that. I'm a man.
Right. I mean, like, as far as your name, if that's your thinking, you're gonna say it, right? Now, do I believe some of it is not good, especially when you're trying to deny biology? I do agree. I tend to agree that there needs to be some health into it considered in it. But as far as how you address, like if you said, I'm gonna change my name from Leroy and I'm gonna call myself, Elevation. Okay, what's up, Elevation?
Yeah.
Why would I, man? Your name ain't no damn Elevation. I'm disrespecting you. Now, especially if you're not crazy, you just decided. Okay.
But when you say, "Hey, my name's Mike," but I'm a woman, and you're not, now you're asking me to engage in your insanity.
See, now we can see. Okay, this person is not. This is probably an insane person.
Yeah, they're not rap type.
But still, I will, and I agree. I would probably disrespect that. So I will disrespect that. But
is it disrespect?
Well, I think it is disrespect of that person's idea, but I believe that idea. This is my belief, and that's true. This is my belief, but I believe that type of idea, when it disrespects biology, this is, then I believe I want to disrespect that as well. So see, I'm not going to respect. See, when I say respect, to the word respect, I'm talking about I acknowledge and I consider and I respect, meaning this, like if I don't want to die, I'm going to respect the street because this car is coming. I'm going to respect danger. I'm going to respect. But I'm not, if I'm disrespected, I'm not going to consider it. So when I say respect, so if somebody came and said, okay, I'm going to deny my actual biology, and I'm going to call, even though maybe I'm a male, I'm going to call myself a female to you. I want you to respect me, my disrespect of actual factual biology. Now,
yes.
That's what I'm not going to engage in myself. Now, this person decides that they would like to do something that's that I wouldn't do, and they want to engage in same-sex stuff. Hey, that's what they want to do. I'm not living their life. So so that's
I'm not busting in your door with a water hose to get y'all to separate. That's on y'all.
Right.
But that doesn't mean try and get me to include me into what you're doing, and that doesn't mean I condone it, but I'm not coming in there to separate y'all. That's on you.
Right.
But that don't mean
I'm not gonna disrespect them as a human. You see what I'm saying? They are human beings, but they're not going to get me to disrespect my knowledge of biology
and sanity.
That's that's them. They can be insane. A person can be insane. That's
absolutely. But that don't mean I'm gonna be insane with you. You know what I'm saying? They don't even go along with your crazy.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. Yeah. So,
But on the spiritual aspect,
mhm.
I got a tough question. Like you laid it out in the format. It's nothing personal. It's just an exchange of ideas. I got a tough question, Mike.
No, go ahead, say
So
it.
we know what happened with Kyrie and
Mhm.
Kanye and the information that a lot of us were already familiar with that they put out there, right?
Mhm.
So I look at people like Rizza Islam, who is I mean, much like yourself, y'all some strong brothers, and y'all believe what y'all believe.
Mhm.
I just, and I know what I believe,
Right.
and I don't understand how. And this is not a shot. I'm saying that because I want to make sure people understand this is not a shot
Right.
because I
This
really
is
want
the
to
type of program
understand.
this is. Yeah, this is the type of program this is. You're supposed to just say it, and there's an answer, and that's it. And then if it could be researched a little better and try to get the best answer, and it is what it is. That's what. So yeah, just come on out and let it be said.
All right, well, let's let it fly. Okay, so Israelites,
Mm-hmm.
RZA, you a lot. Y'all understand what Kyrie and Kanye was putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that not translate to coming to the word and away from the Quran? Because I mean, I haven't read the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
so you can definitely say there's a gap of knowledge there for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to the word, I understand fully what they were saying because I'm going. I can go to the word and I understand that. When the Lord gives me that discernment, why is there that disconnect? And it's not in a bad way. Just why doesn't it lead y'all back to the word? Is it? And this is my own like kind of surmise, and it could be completely wrong. And
No,
it's not,
no,
and it's not just. Hold on, it's not you per se. It's just some of the discussions I've run into when I've tried to go there. I get, well, Leroy, you believe the white man's God. Well, hold on, Jesus wasn't even white. So you know what I'm saying? So how is this the white man's God?
right, right,
You, so you get what I'm saying? Why?
right.
wh- Okay,
Nah, I think I
okay.
get what you're saying. Yeah, but the thing is, to me, see, but for our perspective, we are in the word, but the thing is, the thing is, see, that's what I was talking about earlier. See, it's just like the example. It's like the way that I heard it versus the way that you heard it first time. So and this is God too. He does this, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. Like this is, you know, the Most High does this on purpose. We're speaking English.
hmm hmm
We need to understand that. Okay,
This
there's a big disconnect because we speak English right now.
is definitely a trick language.
Right. This
It is.
this the word that you so when you're talking about the word, you're talking about the Old Testament, the Torah, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about the entire thing. I'm talking about the old and the new.
Okay. Well, you see,
Yeah.
because the old and the new is Greek and Aramaic, but the real, what people say authentic, that stuff that's coming from Jesus, the stuff that's coming from most of the Israelite prophets and the Old Testament prophets, these are uh, all that stuff is from what region of the planet?
Oh,
It's from the same spot. From the
Ethiopia.
same stuff. Well, but it's the same zone. Ethiopia is right across the water from the Red Sea. From what?
Oh, what you want me to say? Israel? I can't say that because we know that Israel was a part of Ethiopia.
This is what I want to show here. I want to show this here. See, this is what I want to show because, see, like I said, a lot of this stuff goes from wars, and a lot of this
hmm
disconnect stuff is coming from these ancient wars that a lot of these people don't want to. They want to create a certain division, and these divisions have persisted because of old wars. But these divisions are not even valid. A lot of these divisions are not valid. They're just based on time and the different people. Let me see, because you got to realize who's the father is Abraham.
And who made him the father of nations?
See,
and changed his name and his wife's name, and that speaks to what what we were just talking about calling someone by how they identify themselves with the caveat. You know what, it's actually sad to say that we had to add the caveat of within reason.
right.
Because of what we deal with now in 2023. I'm sure if the word speaks about.
But no, let's get at that answer, because this is a real good. I think that's a super good question. I'm trying to get to this one thing here. Let me see. Let me just do it here. No, because see, this is the issue, because we got to get these understandings, and it's not that I'm some sort of authority. Like, well, I mean, I guess I am a little bit of authority, but it's not like, that can't, this information. It's just, I just know why I say what I say. I'll say it that way. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I know why I say it.
I get that.
So that's why. And this is where I'm
getting
from.
I'm showing you why you stand on your square.
Right. And I'm going to show you where I'm getting this from. That way you can master it, and that way you can see, okay, Mike, your sources have an issue here, or that, and we can actually get, damn, where's the map? I'm trying to get to a global Google map so I can move on this thing. Come on now. What is wrong with this? Bro, this is irritating. All right, so where is it? Come on now. Anyway.
What? Wait, I mean, continue to look for it. Let me say this while you're looking for it.
Go ahead.
So the word talks about, that the men of the Bible, the apostles specifically, wanted to see our day, the time that we're living in, because we are right up on the end.
Yeah.
I have rolled this over in my head so many times that I don't doubt that that's what they wanted. Living in this time now, seeing what we see, man, I believe the socks would be shocked off of them to see this identity thing. And of course I'm not talking about the name, the idea of denying reality. I mean, you labeled it correctly in biology, and I'm going down that same path in saying reality. How are people denying reality? How?
But what is it? What does the word say? Angel of light. Who
yeah. But good night. It's reality. Either you are a man or you are a woman. There is no you were assigned at a birth. What you mean assigned? You were born, period. You came out as one or you came out as the other. Now, who you want to be with, that's a decision that everyone makes.
Even that's crazy too, but because we have gotten this far down the slippery slope, that's a debate too. But
yeah,
technically that ain't right either.
But and that's why I said, how are people denying reality?
Well, because
Not,
you
know. Go ahead.
you allowed it to get this far. But guess what, though? The real part that people deny reality is God let it get this far. Why?
I mean, look. I mean,
Why?
you know why? Look. I'll tell you why. Because He is long suffering and not willing that any should perish.
So
I mean, I can't speak from the Quran. I can speak from the Word. I can tell you that's because dude, he could have cut this off a long time ago. If one of us mere men were God, dude, this thing would have been over a long time ago. Because we're not long suffering. We would have said, you know what? I'm ending this craziness now before it get going.
Yeah. But the thing is,
go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I'm still not okay. Is this it? Damn.
But he's long suffering, and he's doing that out of love, and I can't have anything but respect for that. You know, from my view, and this, man, I hate to have to keep saying it. It's nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? As far as if a slight. This is not our conversation. Is not about slight. You know,
Right.
and for anybody out here who's listening, it's not about slighting each other. It's about coming to a real understanding and answering questions as best we can.
What I really wanted to get to, but let me see if this is the one. Anyway, yeah, that ain't gonna really work. Okay, maybe this will work. All right, so look, you see this then. I was trying to get to one where I can zoom in it and stuff, but it's all good. So this is Ethiopia. You see this, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the country, but the word refers to the whole of Africa is Ethiopia.
Well, yeah, they call it that. I know they actually call all black folks Ethiopia. That was the Greeks. And see, that's one thing we got to understand too. There's a history next to this thing, but look at where this is at. This is where all of this prophecy, all of this word, all of this stuff comes from this zone. Look at this zone here: the Red Sea, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Djibouti, Ethiopia. This is where all of these words come from. They speak the same language. Okay, so that's the point that I was getting to earlier. We need to understand something here. We don't speak, this is what they call a Semitic language. Jesus spoke this language, Aramaic, and he greeted people in peace, right?
Yeah, but he also said he coming with a sword to divide.
But I'm saying when he was alive, he was greeting people. He was greeting them in peace, right?
Oh yeah. He wasn't showing up with the sword in his hand.
That's my point. Listen to the point though. I'm getting at something. When he seen people, he greeted them with peace.
Absolutely.
And what are the words that these people in this zone use to say peace? In Ethiopia, salam. In Hebrew, shalom. In Arabic, as-salam. All of these places, this is their language. As-salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Shalom alaikum. These are the words they used. The Most High. How do you say the Most High? El, Allah. That's the language. Okay? We need to understand this because the stuff that we thinking is different is not. Okay, these are the languages. Okay, they're saying the same thing. This is the word. And this is what because we speak English and this word has traveled and did different situations over time as it traveled over the last 2,000 years here until it got to us. Okay, we got a lot of extra stuff in it. There's still a lot of the word in there, but the way we understand it, we don't want to admit that there's some stuff in there that we gotta look at. But not saying that it ain't true, but the way we understand this thing is not right. Because like I said before, you can't have all these different denominations, all of these arguments inside the religion over God, the same religion using the exact same book, the exact same words. But you're going to have different denominations and different understandings and conclusions. That tells you it's not in the word. It's in the way that the human beings are understanding this word. And if you don't, and that's where your spiritualism comes into play. Now, I do agree, like I said, with the people, but I don't agree with spiritual people who say, "Oh, we don't need religion." Well, we had to have needed it because if we didn't need it, it wouldn't be here. Yeah, but my thing is this: because you learn the truth, that should not make you feel like you have to change your religion. See, this is the problem too. A lot of people think because they learn the truth, oh, you telling me that I was wrong about this, and now I gotta throw the whole why? Wait a minute, what are you talking about? See, that's the problem. People think they gotta throw their you don't have to throw your system away, just realize the truth. Just put the truth there. You know, it don't like your system, it depends on the person. Okay. But the truth, it depends on reality, just like we were talking about with everything else. Now, biology is the easy one, should be, I should say. Biology should be easy to see, but we see people have a problem with understanding biology. Don't you think the enemy have, and God gave them rain to trick us, just like Job. You put it right there in the word. He's telling you it's there because you're supposed to see it. God putting this stuff for you to see, for us to see, for a reason, because we're going to run into this kind of thing. Job's story of them healing, allowing. This is something that a lot of us don't want to deal with either. God allowed Satan to do some work on us for a purpose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah. And Job stood the test. I mean,
right.
his own wife told him, "Why don't you just curse God and die?"
That's it.
and he lost his children and everything he owns. But by the end of his life, he got that back, sevenfold. New wife, new kids, everything.
Right. And then some people will say, well, so wife and kids are replaceable. Listen, all of us are replaceable in a sense when we're dealing with God, because God is trying to make a certain type of people. He's allowing negative and problems to happen to produce a certain group of people. Now, the truth is what's more important than any of these, because these systems that we came up with, most of the stuff that we call, God didn't call us this stuff. Because I mean, I got some. I don't need to play it right now because actually I can't play it. Let me do it. But so that God didn't make up Christian, the word Christian, did he?
Nope. As a matter of fact, the word tells us that term Christian was used as a term of derision first at Antioch. It was an insult.
Right. Yeah. So the point is, but that doesn't mean it's not a good. I looked it up. It's several different meanings to it, and it's a good follower of Christ, because the Christ, is a good thing, and that's God crystallized, and also because crystal. There's a couple of different little lineages to this, etymologies to that word Christ or Christ, because just like crystal, and just like you know, so they're talking about anointment with oil, but also
Mhm.
they also that even goes back to like a ice. It's basically you're one crystallized. You froze into. You kind of merged into. So that's where it goes back also to that merged into. So you're crystallized into God. So that's a whole nother thing with the Christ too.
The
That's a,
the video you posted yesterday, and I haven't gone through all of it because it's
right.
12
Yeah,
hours.
12
But
hours.
yeah, but I did catch the part where the speaker was saying that Christ meant black.
Right. That's in the Hindu because Hare Krishna. See, this is what I'm saying. Like these are things that we see. That's why you can't. This idea. This is a problem. See, because of the to me, and we live in English. We live in a result of the Christian. Well, this is the white Christian because it's not because we have other Christians, but this era of this what do you call what do you call these people? What do you call this thing? They had this big wars back in the Crusades, and so what they did to survive is, you know, they was warring against everybody. So if you was a heretic, you know, they're just gonna burn you at the stake. If you was a witch, you was a sin, I'm gonna burn your ass. And so you better say what we want you to say. You what are you? I'm this. So you gonna get burnt, right?
Well,
So yeah, that's good. That
hey, Lord didn't play no games in the old. I mean, he ain't playing games never in that Old Testament. Oh boy, he whew,
well, that's not even the old.
break out the stones and let's get to it.
Right. That happened even with Moses, but I'm talking about just a few hundred years ago. Just with
Oh yeah,
yeah, just with the Crusades and stuff. So the
but
only thing
see,
I'm saying is,
but
don't. Yeah, go ahead.
see with the New Testament, that's not what he's calling us to do. In the
No,
New
no,
Testament,
I'm not
we
talking
can't.
about. Yeah, you're right. You're right about the system. So I'm separating man's actions from what is what is prescribed in the word. Okay,
Oh yeah. I get it because
people.
check this out. He does. There's no, and it's just a matter of common sense. Even if you don't believe, you can't you can't force anyone to believe anything. And even
Now, hold
if they
now
even
stop.
hold on, even if they capitulate and say that they do, there's no way for you to know or me to know if they lying.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there's no uh conversion by the uh knife point. You see what I'm saying?
Now
Yeah.
Ali Zara Sue, hey, what's going on? Now, now Leroy, you just said that you can't force nobody to believe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you never read the Quran, you said, but that is actually Islamic. It actually says that in the Quran. So I'm just saying, like, these are certain stuff. Yeah, it literally says that. Yeah, it's
Okay.
not. There's no compulsion. Okay, so but the thing is, see, that's the reason why I showed that map. And
Mhm.
these Muslims have issues too with this stuff because they had the war too. They had to defend themselves. So, and what I'm saying is, this is where we get in this disconnect from human action. Like you could go to a church, right? And the church says, you know, love your brother, you know, don't lie, don't steal. But then you got people in the church
Who
who
lying and stealing?
lying and stealing. They steal. They're doing all sorts of negative stuff, right? So I
Hmm.
need people to understand something. Okay, showing us the history of human beings to me does nothing. That's not showing me the evil or some problem with the doctrine itself or the teaching. That don't have nothing to do with it. That's the standard is the word, right? And it's just there to help people to rise to that standard. But that's not just because you show me some negatives of the person. Now, do you understand what I'm saying with that? Because sometimes people love to say, "Oh, just like this guy." And I'll get back to this. He wanted to go off on Noble Drew Ali. Now, this guy is a black man by 1920s. He's, nobody knew anything about no Islam, hardly, especially in America. We ain't know nothing about that. Now, but this is something that's in our heritage. It's historically, if you start going back to your lineage prior to the American part of your lineage, the lineage over there that you have, it probably be more likely to be in the Islamic thing. Okay, but I guarantee you that's just facts, because it doesn't. Because see, what we're taught about these other stuff here, that's not what it is. And a lot of times, like you said, people haven't even read certain stuff. Just like in your Bible, you have multiple books that's revealed words to multiple prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, God didn't stop. God didn't say Jesus was the last revelation of a word of some words.
Well, in the Bible, actually, it does. I mean, when you get to Revelation, he says, "I'm the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end."
Of what?
Existence.
Okay, but it don't say that he's not going to send nobody else. Doesn't it say he's going to send a comforter? It tells you people
and that's his and I want to say this correctly because I don't want people to get it confused. God is not separate from himself. I use a mathematical equation. Mm-hmm. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3, right?
Right.
When you apply it in a spiritual manner to the word when describing God, it's 1 × 1 × 1 = 3.
Equals 1.
No, and that's why that's in I hope I'm saying this correctly. In our reality in this place, the reason I say 3 is because you have the Father, you have the Son, you have the Holy Spirit. They are not dissimilar from each other. They are not separate. They are one.
Okay.
And that's why I said for us it'll be 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. For him, it's 1 × 1 × 1 × 1 = 3. Because even though they stand alone, they are yet together. In the word, it says, in Jesus rests the Godhead fully.
Okay, but the question though is, why do we think? Well, who's telling us? Where do we get in this idea that we had Moses, we had the Israelite prophets, you got Jacob. They all had books, Revelation. Mm-hmm. God came to these people and words were given to them, and these words are recorded. Okay, and then they had Elisha and Ezekiel and all these
Malachi and
all of them, right? Then we had John and Luke and Jesus, and all of them had words. It's put in the Bible.
Matthew,
right? Where were they living? Where were they living? In that same area?
Yeah, absolutely.
Same area. Okay, So, but at the same time, who makes us think that God have stopped giving words to people?
I mean, you know what? I wouldn't say. I mean, I get what you're saying, because how can I describe this? You're speaking in the sense of the discernment he gives us to understand.
No, I'm
Because
talking about books. Like each.
I mean, I know. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you're talking about books. I'm just saying in the sense of our understanding
Mhm.
that, like I personally, I mean, I can't speak for someone else. Maybe other people hear a voice when they hear from God. I don't necessarily hear a voice. I just understand and know something that I didn't understand or know before. And it's for lack of a better term, it's a knowing.
Right.
Because I give you an example with Sodom and Gomorrah. When I read it with when I read it with my grandmother, I understood what it said. When I read it with my children, I still understood what it said, but I understood something different from when I read it when I was a child. And the example is when the angels came into that city and met Lot. Well, off the rip, Lot was trying to get, they wanted to, they told Lot, well, we're going to walk around and see what's going on here. Lot was like, no, let's go to the house. He was trying to get them to go straight to the house. He didn't want them to see anything, but they already knew. But he was straight to the house. And when I was reading with my children, I started laughing. And they said, well, why are you laughing, Dad? And I said, because this is something that I did not see when I was y'all age.
Right.
But now I understand that, Lot was like, man, I don't want them to want the angels to see this madness.
Hey, but the angels were people.
Yeah, they were in human form, yes.
They were.
But it speaks to, what I was saying about
Well, how is that
something
different from the idea that we're taught about angels? The way we are taught about angels, a lot of times they're not, and they're kind of like some kind of spiritual thing. So
they are, and yet the Lord tells us that we will judge them, that we will judge the angels. And I think specifically in that portion of the text, he's speaking of the ones who, left with Satan.
Right, but my point on that one is the fact that there's stuff that people are gonna have to kind of open some of this up mentally, because there's stuff truth that needs to be understood that is really the works of Satan, that people believe that's not. People believe that they're doing something good. I'll say it that way, because like I said, even your words saying the same words. Keep in mind, they're coming from this same area. This is where God is wanting everybody to focus on for some reason. A lot of this stuff is coming from right here, and they're speaking the same language. Okay, these languages are very close to each other. Now, if I don't know if you even looked at it, like Arabic, Hebrew. Let's say I'll get a list, Semitic languages. This is the stuff that if you're not going over this, you're not. I don't see how people. To me, now that I've looked at this stuff so much, I really don't see how people really believe they're trying to be authentic and actually understanding, not just going by what we learned because we learned it when we was babies. That's good too, good stuff. But if you're talking about, okay, this is a spiritual system, okay.
What's key? What's key geographically about the place you're pointing out?
Mhm.
It is the absolute center of the world. It's
Okay.
the absolute center. It's not, it's not north of there, it's not south of that. That's right in the middle of every place. You know what I'm saying? It if you start out from there, I would, and I haven't done this, so I can't say I've tested it out. But just looking at the map from that place, I would venture to say that it probably takes the same amount of time to get everywhere.
Mm.
You understand, to the furthest reaches, of course.
Right.
Like and this is just an example, not necessarily a fact, just an example. Like if it takes 8 hours to get from Israel to Tokyo, it's going to take the same 8 hours to get from Israel to California. You see what I'm saying? Because it's the absolute center.
That's interesting. Now I'll say it this way: the way they show the map, because we're getting, we're used to a certain way to look at a map.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another issue too. But I just wanted to show, like, I can't really get it justice on this, sir. I'm trying to get a good. But the point is that if you start talking to these people, right, you will see that they're using the same words. This is almost like, okay, English, French, Spanish, Latin, uh, even though we sound different, but we're using the same script. Where what I mean, we got some of the same words. No, you know, all, yeah, certain stuff that we can say. This is the same. Okay, that's how these people are. They spoke several languages, so Phoenician, Aramaic, Nabatea, early Arabic, modern Arabic, Syrian, modern Hebrew. They go from right to left, all of them. The number system's the same, similar, and then their words sound the same. A lot of their words sound the same. A lot of them, you know. So the point I'm saying is they've been mixing with each other for thousands of years. This same area. So when you're talking about Revelation and all of this stuff, these books, they're going to have. Let me see. So like if you're looking at these books, they're going to be, there's some similarities in there. So my point is that just because they didn't put the Holy Quran in a Bible, that's just the revelation of Muhammad. And a lot of people don't understand what I mean when I say that. But if they would have really, if the Bible canon and the council would have happened, let's say 1,000 years ago instead of back in Sia,
3,000 years ago. Yeah, I get
well,
what you're saying.
yeah, they happened like 325 years after Jesus, the actual.
Mm-hmm.
So if they
And they intentionally left some things out, because if you
a lot,
speak to Ethiopians, they'll tell you that the Bible they have in Ethiopia has 80 books.
right? I got them. I got it. I got their book. Their Ethiopian Coptic Orthodox. They're Orthodox, and they feel like they have the Ark of the Covenant. They got the old history there too. See, now the difference between Ethiopia talk versus us, who don't even speak that. You speaking the Ethiopians, they have actual stuff from that. They kept every record of every lineage from Sheba and from Menelik. They got every name and every up to date. Okay, so see, you they not just talking.
Oh
So,
no,
yeah. So
yeah, they should not. Yeah, they
this is
got
the stuff.
they.
Yeah, this is the stuff. If we don't know this stuff, there's an actual history. So like we grow up and we believe a certain thing because it's our word. That's just what we learned. That's just how we learned it. Okay. But there's kind of misunderstandings is not intentional. Some of it's not intentional because that's how our parents learned. They didn't have the way. But when we start going over and really understanding, then we start understanding the unity of this stuff. Abraham was living here. Okay.
Yes.
Canaan is here. It's down here. Yemen, all that stuff. Oman, all of this stuff. This is where all of these people that you read of in the Bible, this is what they was doing. It was in Arabia. They were Arabians. They were Africans. Okay. And so when you're talking about the Quran, to pretend like the Quran is different from the Bible, we're taught in Muslims, that's the reason why we read the Bible. It's all our stuff. This we call the Bible Quran. The Quran just means the book that should be read. That's just at that time, that's their Quran. That's their Quran. Oh, that's their Quran. That's their Quran. It's just a book. That's your book. You see what I'm saying?
And that's why I've asked Muslims, because I haven't read the Quran.
Well, that's just
does it mention the mark of the beast?
Well, it doesn't say. I don't think it says that like that, because keep in mind, the Bible is we feel like that's ours too. That's ours too. So it's not. See, the way that the way that a lot of folks who come under the Western Christian, I'll say the Western Christian, because I know I got friends who are Ethiopian too. When they say their Bible, they memorize and they sing it. Okay, so you can ask them, especially if they're Ethiopian or Orthodox, you ask them a certain passage, they'll have to start singing it to get it, and then they'll say it to you once they sing it. That's the same thing that the Muslims do. The thing is, they also have stuff that's in the Quran is in the Ethiopian Bible. So they share passages literally the same. So that's one thing. Like we over here, this is a Western. We coming from this Western situation. And the problem is a lot of us don't want to admit something because in our mind, we thinking God wouldn't let that happen. That's what my great grandmother told me. God wouldn't let that happen. I was like,
well, I mean, the word says that there's nothing impossible for God. So
no, of course it's not impossible.
So
he ain't gonna lie.
So we can't put we as humans can't put a limit on him. And that's not to say, how, and this is going into psychology a bit, that you hear what someone says and then you listen to what they don't say.
Right.
What I just said is not one of those statements, about, nothing being impossible, that we can't put limits on him. But that's not to say that there's something else they can put a limit on God. You see what I'm saying?
Ramadan Mubarak just got home. Okay, Ramadan Kareem. And keep in mind, guys, if y'all looking at this, I don't care where you're from, if you're doing whatever. This is anybody could just click that little link up there, and y'all can come up here. We talking, and it's not. I mean, right now we're on religion, but and it's not a critical thing. This ain't because we're friends, but the thing is, this is an understanding type situation. So,
yeah, no shots fired.
This ain't no. See, that's another thing. See, that's a thing people say. Oh, religion. So now, there's a lot of people say, oh, religion is a waste of time. We don't need it. Religion has killed more people than. I said that's a stupid argument to me because
because they're trying to assign men's actions
to
a belief system, and I really don't like the word religion, just because religion encompasses so much versus just dealing with the actuality. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes words don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, coming from a human perspective, trying to relay what you think, what you feel, what is inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes words fall short on
Right.
our end.
Right.
And I'm speaking for myself, but yeah, people come up, pitch in, pitch a tent, and let's get into this.
Well, yeah, yeah. So, and it's not about, like I said, it's not about hating on nobody, but the point is, with this Quran situation and with just religion in general, people was killing each other before these Abrahamic faiths. So let's not play games.
Oh yeah, hey, people was killing each other before it was written down.
Yeah, try. Now then people say, "Oh, religion is bad." I'm like, well, listen, a lot of times these people are Afrocentric, which I'm gonna say I'm Afrocentric, but I'm global centric because anyway. But the point is, uh, they were selling each other out with tribalism down there in Africa. What's up with the dang on Benin chicks from what's them the woman kings?
Oh,
They,
the homie them.
yeah, the homie them. They were selling each other out and selling people out for tribalism, killing each other over tribalism, selling them out to white people.
Man,
So let's get off
I
this
had
religion is evil stuff because religion has united people more. To me, if you look at religion, there's wars, right? But there's big spaces of peace. Even these people that's talking this negative on the religion situation, uh, see, to me, this is what I'm looking at, and this is my opinion. I don't get this from no specific place, so I could be wrong, and everybody can have their different opinions. See, and that's another thing. We got to be able to talk without necessarily saying, like, standing in it, like, oh, I got this from the word, and my interpretation of it is infallible. Like you can read it, but the way you understand it might not be all that. I said that way.
or
So
or or it might not be the way someone else
right,
understands it because the word says that it's not subject to private interpretation. So when you read a verse, he may show you something different than what he shows me, and it's nothing wrong with that
mhm, right,
because we understand. He gives us the understanding he wants us to have, and that can be different for each person.
right. And the thing is, if it's a good thing, and sometimes we have a misunderstanding.
Oh, yeah, yeah, true, true.
So both are true, and that's the problem. Like that's what's so hard about people because it's very tough if you don't have a good standard when when you're in a situation where reality is turned upside down
Oof.
and everybody could just believe what they want to believe because it's whatever. And now when there's a misunderstanding that nobody can submit to any guidance, there's no standard of proving what's right and what's wrong. Like, how do we know you right? How do we know yours is the right way? It's not about the right way. The right way is the truth way. Now, if you came into the world and you was calling yourself crystallized in God, with following the example of Jesus the Christ, that's good. Who could argue with that? Okay, just because you
Oh,
learn some fact. No. When I mean the who can they get back, I
say,
can argue.
look,
I can
look.
argue.
I give you some. I
I
give you
can
somebody that can argue with it.
I
Say,
can, well, I can argue that the grass ain't green. The color green really is a slave mentality. Okay, so the point is, what I mean is, as far as who can, really, blame. Okay, so this is the idea that okay, for example, if I talk to a Hindu or somebody who came up in Hinduism or Buddhism or something like that, and I explain to them this or that, and they didn't know something about whatever, that don't mean they're gonna stop their thing. It just means that they know a little something now. That's all. this is people be going crazy. People be going crazy. Let's say you was going to this one church and your children are in school and they're doing good and everybody's doing good and let's say the preacher got uh sexually molested 4 boys. You gotta leave the church. Okay, is he arrested? Okay, get him out. Okay, he's arrested. You know, see, that's what I'm saying. We running from everything too much. If that's your church, you grew up in that church, you know everybody in that church, your family is doing good, and you have skin in the game in that. Just make it better. That's all.
Eh, that's tough, Mike. That
That's
is
how I
tough.
look at it. I don't.
I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. It's just, bro. I mean, I was fortunate enough to have the grandmother that read the word with me, but we also went to church. She didn't take
Right.
us. My mom did, and in the church that we went to, there were some things that happened. Not in that sense, what you were saying about molesting, but there
Yeah.
were other things that happened that it brought home what my grandmother taught me, according to the word, that he doesn't live in a building made with men's hands. And when you see the fallibility, if that's the correct way to say it, in people, sometimes you got to separate. Sometimes you have to walk away when they're not being true to what they're teaching. And I understand people
Hypocrite.
saying, I'm not, yeah, I understand that, but I'm not, I'm saying it in the sense of you can't tell me one thing and turn around and do the other and expect me to still be fully engaged as I was
Okay.
when I see the ploy, when I see that it's not legitimate,
Hmm.
and it's I hope it doesn't come across as a slight, but sometimes you are moved from that place because it was never where you were supposed to be. It served a purpose for a time,
Right.
and when that
Yeah, and I'm
time comes,
not
when
saying
that
that you
time comes to an end, then it's time to move.
right. That's true. There is a point that I agree with you 100% on that point. There's a point in time, but my point is this. It's like this here. You don't have to. Okay, if you learn some truth, just or you found out some lies that was told. Okay, that don't mean
Hmm.
people throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's my point. Okay, I
Yeah.
found out right there that I was thinking that is not correct. So people, and then people go and they start doing everything that's evil because that one thing I believe in, I don't believe it now. I feel that it was wrong. Then they start doing everything crazy. They start going LGBT. They
Hey,
start doing that. They start, worshiping
look,
Satan and stuff, and start doing all these seances and weird shit. Now wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. Just because you learned this one thing, that don't mean that you can lie, that you can steal, that you can cheat. All of these good stuff. See, this is where we got to
yeah.
deal with religion. Now, the thing is, the reason why I say people need religion is because people have to have a system of self-control in respect of law
Hmm.
versus government police state, because no one wants to live in a system that's out of control. Who wants to do that? Now, whose job is it to control the population then? Shouldn't it be the internal values of the population to control themselves? not guns. I'm not going to not rob you because he's going to kill me. I'm not going to rob you because you're my brother. Why would I don't want to rob you. You see, where do I learn that from? How do I look at you as a sacred creation of God, or not cheat on my wife and not lie or make good fair business deals? Where do I learn these systems, that these spiritual good moral systems? Do I learn it in ethics class at Harvard? Well, I don't think that's working because they got ethics class and they're not reparations. They know they should. So I don't think that's working. No, you need a religion, a straight up religion. Yeah,
look,
come on up.
the same Harvard that's going wishy-washy on the identity thing of men and women. So yeah,
Okay.
that's definitely not an arbiter of truth.
Well,
If
I'm
they
just
can
saying
flip-flop that easy.
these people who say you don't need you don't need religion. Religion is the replacement for the police. That's the replacement for the police. That's really, and it's well, you need to learn how to control large groups of people. Why not? Oh, it's not up there. The link is not there. Okay, I thought it was up there. Sorry. Hold on a second. Let me get this link. Yeah, but the thing is, that's the police right there. And why shouldn't it be? That's my point to people who think that no religion should be. Why shouldn't why shouldn't it control people? Why shouldn't religion control people? Religion is supposed to control people, but it really is the best way because it's teaching people how to control themselves. That's how I look at it.
You
What do
know,
you think?
you know what's a good example of that?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna go back to the same place on the map.
Right.
Is Israel before them people showed up?
Yeah.
Because before them people showed up and started terrorizing people there, Christians, Muslims, and whoever else was there was living in peace. Everybody was getting along, regardless of what it believed or anything. Everybody was cool. But then them people showed up, and you know what hit the face.
Oh wait. Now I'm thinking about it. Hold on. Now when you say them people, are you talking about the Khazar type people, or are you talking about
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
With that
Now
Balfour Declaration and that they got from England saying, yeah, this ours now. Well, dude, that's just a piece of paper. And it's the same thing. And I talked to Cynthia McKinney about this because she had been over there. I said, I asked, I said, do you realize that what has happened to Israel is what happened to the Indians? That
you
the name, that Native Americans was living here doing their thing, whatever it was. Then these people showed up and we got all this now. Well, the same thing happened to the Middle Israel. They was doing Palestine. They was doing their own thing. Everybody was fine. Then these people showed up, and you know what hit the fan. They came in and wrecking shop and said, "Hey, I got this piece of paper. This mine now." What you mean? This mine now?
Hey, that's deep. What's up, BMT? Hey, so you here to test our faith. I think I touched on some of what your argument was with the independence thing.
Right.
BMT. How you would like you don't want to be locked into one thing because you have to answer for others.
Hey, Shahida know what time it is. He said exactly them people. People know, man. People realize no matter how much they try to hide it.
So before there was the laws of land, there were certain they had religion, or belief system, and it was, these are certain types of rules that certain groups abide by, or believe in, depending on their treatment of what they believe is fair. Um, and this is why they had it where a law was given out by the church, which became the law of the state, and then the law of the state became the law of the land. And depending on what God or who's that sitting at that throne, ordained by a certain king, then that was the land. That was the law of the land. Um, as far as it goes for uh, you would have to have it where black people believe that they can independently, fundamentally, um, uh, do for self, and there are groups, microcosm groups that do for self, um, versus those who depend on the EU religion, the world nation religion, and certain doctrines. That's why I say I don't pray to every god. I don't believe everybody who may run around with my pigment is for me, but I don't know what God you pray to or call on. And so you got to be very mindful. Uh, you can have two people from Israel, but one could be a Jew and one could be a Gentile, or one could be of this tribe, one could be of that tribe. And this remains true of understanding. This is why when people speak to an African, ask them, well, yeah, he's Ghanaian, I'm Nigerian, I'm Ubuntu, I'm this. That. They'll tell you like we have a fundamental belief in Africa, but we also have our own systematic beliefs in our tribes and in our nation of what we want. Like this is why you're seeing right now the war on Uganda, where they're saying, listen, y'all bringing in y'all belief system against that of against our diaspora belief system, and they're saying, well, if you don't comply to that of the God of the land, then guess what, Uganda, you're gonna have a problem. Now, what will happen is this, and this is why it's very interesting because then they'll say, well, okay, for those of y'all who are like me, why are y'all silent? And if you're silent, then don't say again. It's a convenience. It's a convenience, Mike. Okay, so now we pray to the same God at a convenience, but then all of a sudden, or have the same belief,
Right.
but then now all of a sudden, when it's good, we cool. When the bad, you know what I'm saying? When the rooster starts crowing, you get quiet. And so right now, when it comes to some of these resources and stuff, you hear so much anti talk. Like a lot of people more so believe in that of the systematic religion than that of their own fair people's religion. Being able to have self-governing values and tradition and authority. Hell, you even have it where some women will say, "I don't believe in that of the governing religion of man."
Yeah, patriarch.
Right.
That's
So
what we got.
and see, that's what I'm saying. So you can't talk, and you can't really holistically have certain conversations if you don't have order. And so if you have a weird system, mind you, let's say even if you did break off, right? If your system does not believe in that of as men being authoritative, then you ain't gonna get very far. Hell, if the men don't believe in being in a position of authority, because a lot of men are actually more so lax and fat.
Hello?
And some
DMT.
Okay.
on my
Gotta cut out a little.
what the hell you
Hold
trying
on.
to get us killed? You talking about this God of independence and ability of we just taking the land and working. Hold on. I got a system, God, that provided for me and my child. Why would I want to do what y'all doing? And so that right there would mean that and this is and you can pull it out from when the children left Egypt. They left Egypt, and what happened? They were like, whoa, Moses, back to the Egyptian system. We didn't have to think. We didn't have to provide. We didn't have to go out there and hunt and actually be over our women. We have Pharaoh's men telling our women and children what to do. These were the men. So when the men the men were telling that to Moses, God was like, oh, hell no. You're not ready for reparations because you'd rather have another man tell you how to run your system. So why would I give you something if you yourself do not believe you are authoritative and you are worthy? So this is why you see where certain groups, especially certain black diasporas, it's hard because certain men in that position of authority and power. And so, and I think I listened to that of Farrakhan when he was talking about why men need not to be afraid of when some men are afraid of authority, while other men are taught, trained since young boys why they are deserved and blessed authority. Most black boys are not trained to be patriarchal authoritative figures. They're trained to be subservient. While other boys are saying, this is why you see them outside marching and screaming, and it is my birthright, this country in America. See, that's a doctrine of religion belief that this is their promised land. I remember the good old days when my granddaddy was out there putting his foot up y'all butt and drinking and raping and pillaging. Yeah. That's my right. So when that all happens, they're speaking from a make America great. They're entering a belief. What do you ask the black man? I'm black and I'm proud. Well, do you believe, or do you actually believe it? And if you do believe it, why don't you actually set out and actually do it? And see, that's the problem. One trained to be educative, the other one was trained to be submissive. It's a hard word. Why do you think you hear them talk about? What do you hear them talking about now? Submission.
And see, that's what they want. See, because they feel like you see.
You were sitting on the side of the mountain listening to a man. That brother can smoke.
Yeah, but just like you said, I want to be the one in power. So I need somebody who, that woman, she will submit, just like I had to submit to this man. Maybe we can get her to submit to me, so I can feel better. But submission means abuse to them because that's what that was done to them. So they're trying to replicate.
Correct.
They're replicating.
Correct. But I think that's the thing. That's the problem of it. It's when something has been abused traumatically and ingenuitively so much. A cotton swab, a cotton ball. When something's been abused so much. See, I teach my daughters and my sons both sides of submission. A woman submits to her man, but a man submits to the household. You don't hear men speak like that. They were like, oh, no, the woman just submits, and I'm the head of the household. Well, when do you submit?
Exactly.
Because you got to submit unto that authoritative figure of the house. No, I'm the head of the household. You serve the household, and you serve the needs of the household. So,
what do you think about this statement? Not why you said since you said that. I want y'all to answer, both of y'all too. But I'm gonna say this statement and just keep saying your comment, but in it, answer this.
Go ahead.
What do you think? God submits to His own laws. So, the laws of the universe, even God submits to them.
That's true. Because if He says it, it must be so. God is not a God that He should lie. And that right there saying that if I say something, if He speaks something of His household or says something, He has to abide by what He says. He doesn't break or go back on that. And that's the thing about it. Why we emulate that of the God we serve. If you said something or your household, because you are a representative of your house, of the word of your house. So if you have a certain kind of thing that, hey, around this time, TV's off, we sit down, we kneel, we pray, we eat together, we talk and stuff like that. Okay, so here come around that time, You watch TV, the rest of them, they stand at you. Oh, I said, y'all do that. I said, y'all do that. I ain't mean me do that. That means y'all. What y'all looking at me for? Don't question me.
Y'all a little
submit
subject
to what I think.
Hey, that right there gets a lot of brothers, because a lot of us, our God, unfortunately, is that white Jesus, the white guy. And so we know that we feel like they feel that as if they can do whatever they want to. So they'll make a law, they'll break their own law. Then, what they'll do, they'll make a law and then make you submit to it. Then when they want to break the law, they'll make it legal real quick. They'll do it and then make it illegal again.
Exactly. And they ask, it's in the text of the God I serve is a just God. It's supposed to be just. And so if he says it, it must be so. But see, but does he do it? And see, that's the thing why the submission is challenged. This is why the black man's authority is challenged. If you say you're going to love me and protect me, then you have to abide by that. To death do us part. See, I understand that for me to have a household, I got to be willing to die for each and every last one of the people under my household, without a question. But then in the same breath, I ask for absolute submission. When I say something, and you've been there, Mike, they weep and mourn when I speak about me passing, because they cannot see themselves without me, but I cannot see myself without them. So thus, It's a full circle of submission. That's what makes us a one body. Now, the thing about it for the black Negro, the black Negro, he's been trained to think in this system individually rather than that of a unit. So the individual does not think of the unit comes first, and that's seen as a bad thing. So when the Marcells said, hey, my grandfather served to save your grandfather, and the white woman challenged him, said, by what authority do you speak on my father and my grandfather? Speak on what name of what family?
BMT, Jesus says this. The same thing was said to Jesus, BMT. By whose authority do you say these things?
By the same,
when he was prophesying. Go ahead, Mike.
By the same people, right?
Right, same people.
Yeah.
You got to. But they ask you. They'll ask you by whose authority, and see that's universal. That's universal of Allah, a God, or the I am that I am. Is I speak from that of authority, and so when it comes to reparations, you have to speak of an authoritative manner. This is the charge. This is the reason it was set upon this day. That's why God cannot go back on his word. So if there was a word or a bond, that's why the word of the church, the word of King Henry, the word, you notice that in all the texts, what do they all say? The word of this figure, of this authority has spoken by order of the king, by order of that of Ra. So when you say the word, and you speak of that name of that word, that's why I said he's speaking as the voice of that people. And so the black man was cut off. The first thing, that's why when Africans or certain groups of black speak, they tell you, I am of this tribe, I am of this group, by this authority I speak. Black man here in America, he was cut from his birthright. That's why I have to just say I'm an American. And they said, but you weren't there, but that I'm still connected to those people. But why? Why? So you want me to forget that of my history and move on. But I have to remember the Jewish history, the Asian history, the Arab history, every other man's history But the Negro boys' history that was beat or chopped down, I am to forget that part of the word.
Look, they want us to just move on, but when it comes to them, it's never forget. Why we got to move on? Why we got to lay it down?
See, because
Because they know.
that's your genocide. You
Yeah.
gotta. I kill your history first. Once I cut you off, if I want to get rid of a weed, you're a weed. What did Margaret Sanger call us?
Ooh, weeds that were need to
We
be cut down. We'll
cut you
spread like weeds, so we got to get rid of them.
from the root. Now, damn, it's hard to get rid of them. See, because I don't know if y'all realize it. I study how many times they've been trying to kill us a long time, bro. And they like, damn, you can't get rid of them. You
Why do
can't.
you keep a track what that benevolent white woman has done for us? Has she not fed you and clothed you?
Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the era of Pearl, the era of the white woman.
Oh, pearly things. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. See, that's
Look,
this is why we do. This is the reason why we got to keep it on this black. I ain't gonna call it SHIT, but that's what people call it. This black. You got to keep that. Why? I don't care, because the bottom line is, look, everybody's going to, when they start trying to disrespect your lineage, your life, they're disrespecting you.
yes.
That's the first step to Holocaust in your butt. Once I can get you to agree, oh yeah, y'all ain't nothing, and I can start having you curse out your own grandparents, your own historical figures, even if you disagree with them. Now, so that's what I was talking about a little earlier. We can point out falsehoods in historical figures without trashing them. Okay. So I'm not saying, we don't support lies, but my point is, I don't trash my historical figures that believed what they were doing was the right thing. So just because, maybe they was wrong here or there. Okay. But if I can get you to do that and disrespect your own lineage and your own figures, then now why should your children respect you? So all your work is in the trash. Now you're not going to fight for them. So reparations.
That's when they know the brainwashing is complete. Like that quote you put up on one of the other lives that we did with I think it was one of the guys on the CIA talking about we'll know our mission is complete when all Americans believe lies or something to that effect.
Yeah, William Henry, that's his name. He was a CIA director. Yeah, that's his name. Yep, this is what we gotta understand. Like, these people, this is a system. They're mad because they're like, dude, we intended on getting rid of these folks by now. They're actually angry because they have this, and now they're like, they didn't even know we was trying to kill him, and we still couldn't kill him. So now,
that look, and that's why they extra mad at us who said no to the jab, like Ben Shapiro.
Oh yeah.
They super mad that we said no.
Right. And the thing is, though, but the point is this. This is what we need to understand why certain stuff. Like, you can have your religion name. That doesn't matter. I ain't gonna say it doesn't matter. That's important because that identifies your system, your order, your structure, your values, right? But at the same time, we don't want any system to block us from the blessings that we know for a fact God created the universe. We walking on a planet, the originator, he created that. We know that. Even if we didn't, we know heavens, earth is raining. We got plants. We got food here. We got clean air. It ain't all clean, but we can work on that, cleaning it up. But the point is, we know that we got blessed, right? So, that part we don't have to argue about. We shouldn't have to. Now, with your particular system, that's your birthright. Like, so, like, I shouldn't be scared to I shouldn't be scared to learn something. Just like with the Christian thing. So the word Christ. Okay, so we got. So people have shown that part is about with crystals and being crystallized like ice. Also, like you said, and it is true, Hare Krishna, the Krishna deity back in India, they have that. I remember my mother took us to the Hare Krishna's little spot. They're some weird looking people. I remember that. The Hare Krishnas. It was some white people though. But now I understand that those were India. That's from India. And it's just like these type of things. But did I become a Hare Krishna? No. I just wanted to understand why they think the way they think. See, if I can get you to not even try to understand another group of people, then it's easier to kill them. They're savage.
Because you have dehumanized them.
Yeah, they're savage. Look at them. Look at them. They paint their faces. They walk around with they take baths all the time. Look.
Oh man, you taking shots at the French, Mike. Stop it.
But our queen, she's forced to take a bath 2 times a year.
And make up every other day to cover it up. That's what they did.
Right. But do you understand even the word devil, the word devil comes from the Indian, those people over there? The East Indian type people. That comes from their stuff. Devs, they came up with that. Even Shiva. The
goddess of destruction.
Well, yeah, but then there's that, and then there's another one. But they
have many.
Right, but their stuff, and then their stuff is in. Just because you learn, to me, when I learn about another group's stuff, I don't want to learn it from the people who hate that group. Like, why would I learn about you from your enemy? Of course, I'm going to get all the worst information. That's not an accurate way to get information from your enemy. I want to learn what you think about yourself first. And then if I don't believe you, then I'll listen to what your enemy said.
But it does say something about them when they take those things and use them. And this is the example I use. CERN. What's outside of CERN? The Large Hadron Collider.
Okay, so you're talking about was that Switzerland and
they have a statue of the god Shiva. If you look at the design that they use, it's 3 6s.
Yeah, but you gotta realize
superimposed on each other.
When white folks get a hold of anything, we gotta remember this. This is a part of white legacy. This is their history. It's not being mean to them. Like, listen, bro. Even if I have white people on here, I understand. That's why I can't get too mad. This is their heritage. Just like with Pearl. This is what they do. They got all these good tricks and special techniques, and they learn how to manipulate the groups of the planet, and then we fall right for it.
Master manipulators.
Our job is to fall for it. So you get a 20-something-year-old.
Hey, look, that's according to them. That's our job to fall for it. That's according to them.
You can get a 26, 27-year-old little white girl who looked damn like she 30-something, 40 maybe. And she can deceive, or she can just have a 50-year-old black man flipping around her fingers. What's up, James? James out here just checking it out.
So,
but no, but my thing is this there. If like anytime the global white majority, I'll say it that way, because it's not every individual, but it's them as a group. When they get a hold of something, they kind of change it a little. They always change it, just like woke. They change it a little, just like the little what we call Nazi type symbol, but it's not Nazi symbol. It was a symbol of abundance in the original world. It's not just India, it's even in Ethiopia and other places. They changed that spinning cross into like something bad, just like the all-seeing eye. They kind of messed that up. The pyramid, they kind of change it, kind of make it like a cult situation where it's kind of, you know. So we got to realize, like, when they put a symbol up, that's what it means to them. Okay, so we just need to. So I want to see what it means to the Indians.
The thing about it is, you know, when you talk to people, because we've had this conversation I think this was a big pushback that me and I had, and I think Mike joined on with me on my pilgrimage, was BNP, why are you talking to the white man?
Yeah.
And I said, because he watches you.
Yep.
So why would I not talk to him? He comes by your village every other time and look inside there, watch y'all and drop stuff off. So why wouldn't you talk to him?
Right.
And that was something that Shaka said. Well, this white man around here, go get your king. Well, I speak for the king. No, go get your king. I'm a king. So why don't you go get your king? See, now they send. See, now they first sent the men. They sent the men.
Oh yeah.
They sent the men here, and the men didn't work because the men couldn't properly integrate. So they went back and they sent and they grabbed a white woman.
Right.
A white woman that was from Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens' camp. And she said, go amongst some amongst some Negroes. Because the Negro is overly hypersexual. They scream and cry about that, of the woes of how they've been wrought and wronged. And see, the thing about it is, once you put them in a position of authority, like a politician, somebody, they'll tell you straight up, I don't care what you have to say. No different than what Biden had to say. No different than what the king or the U.S. government had to say. Or, you know, even somebody in the military, hey, we're here for hearts and minds, but actually we're here to get certain stuff. You know, you got that opium over there. You know, I need that for Big Pharma. Hold on, I thought y'all said y'all were here to go fight terrorism. Well, you're the demon. You're the terrorist. How am I the demon? I live here.
Yeah.
No, you a demon. It says it in our book. It says in our book. We here for America. Hold on, nigga. I can't even afford to buy a plane or a goddamn war pump for my goddamn. How do I know how to fly your plane? Nigga, you know how to fly that damn plane. Now stop lying. But God told us, and so now, you know, I said, and I was very confused. But I said, well, how does this man who has the education of a fourth grader, but knows about his religion, how does he know how to get into America and fly your plane? Well, they train with the CIA. They train with the CIA. How did you? And I'm talking to them. I said, hold on. How old are you? We don't go by age. What the hell? Hold on. White man. This man don't even. If they don't go by our age and mathematics system, how did you know how to read your calculations on your airplane? That's government top secret. Okay. All right. Okay.
See, that's the same thing religion would say. That's God is not mocked. You know, you speaking of the devil, you should not question God. Those sorts of answers. Once you start hitting at the certain questions, yeah, Negro.
And that was the problem.
No, I'm like this.
And that was the big. That's the issue. When you start asking certain stuff, jab, reparation, when you start challenging their God, their woman, their belief, someone will answer back. They
Oh yeah.
will show you. They will show you, nigga, who are you? Who are you to
They,
challenge my God?
hey,
And
they hit you with the, oh, you're too smart.
Oh, you
see,
smart. Yeah, you are
but
smart. Huh.
the
Yeah.
best thing, the best way how to get you, and this is how they've been defeating the blacks. Don't if I can't kill you, then I will integrate you.
Yeah. And
Come,
get you to turn on each other.
listen. You speak very well.
See,
You have nice
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
nice you have nice pearly white teeth,
Yeah. You're
and
well spoken.
you have good hair. So listen, don't raise your kids up in that busted down, raggy community slop. Come over
yeah,
here. I'll take boys and I'll put them in our school where they can run around with basketball. Don't worry, put that school book down. Run that damn ball up and down the corner. I'm gonna teach my son how to manage your child. You run up and down that street and corner
BNT.
and dribble that ball. You,
BNT.
yep. Mm-hmm.
BNT. You know what you're hitting on right now? Lamar Jackson.
Well,
They want him to get an agent to get his money, and he don't want to use their agent. He
uh,
want his money. Pay him. He don't need to go between. Cut the check. The man that showed you his worth, pay him.
well, see, you gotta understand. We knew it for what it was when Kyrie Irving shared about
A
black lineage.
video.
A video that a white man showed, a billionaire, one of their own, had a slip up and showed it, and the black man they pulled out the whip and strung him to the wheel and whipped him and beat him, and the other blacks would say, "Well, that's what you get. Why'd you speak out, Negro?" And I was
you know
like,
better.
We done made
and
you rich.
why'd you speak out? So that's why the same thing with the white woman who said, "Listen," and you got to go get the video. Go get the video, Mike. The video. I think I might have it where she said, "I don't believe in systematic issues. I don't
Oh, you
believe in
talking
that."
about that pearly chick?
Yeah, right. The
Oh
white woman.
wow.
She said, "I don't
See,
believe it." Now, so wait. How are you speaking to black men about the one thing that your people produced that put us and forever will hold us. No matter where I go, I was born into a system. I accept that I am in a system. The fact that you say, I do not think that system is real. I don't think redlining is real. I don't think any of the stuff y'all talk about is real. But y'all want to talk about black relationships? But that's one of the things that crippled the black man was him being told you're not allowed to maneuver or put a business or anything in that area. You're not allowed to raise your child or chastise or say anything. So why are you here, white bitch? Well, because I'm here to talk about. I'm here to spread the word of white holiness. Why is that? Why is that black man talking about Elijah Muhammad? What are you talking about? Silence him. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Get out. Get out. And so that's why I said you can't. You trying to say
I ain't
you
gonna lie,
trying
I
to.
can't hardly find this chick stuff. I do not look at her. I don't, but
I'm
I'm
Why
a.
don't you watch the white woman
I
and
don't
pray to
watch.
your new God? What's wrong with you, Mike?
man.
I don't
I'm
know none
glad.
of her videos and nothing.
Look, I'm glad y'all talking about it because Mike, I'm the same way. I haven't listened to one bit of. I've only seen her name, just Pearly Things.
I
I
only listen
haven't
to what
taken
y'all say
one
about her.
moment.
Yeah, I only listen to what y'all say about her. I don't listen to it because to me, I already was told. Elijah Muhammad already told us straight up that the last trick of the devil is the white man. I mean, the white woman will be the last trick. So we kind of look at them differently. That's what we were told. So, but I mean,
I don't know if she the last trick, but
Well, I
I'm
mean, that's I understand that, but it just
I'm
makes us look at them like, when is this thing happening here? Because we know y'all.
I'm gonna the
But
reason why she's the last trick because that man has used her historically for wars all over around the world. He's used it for affirmative action, for policies, for riots.
let me make sure I said that right. Hold on, let me get the quote right. Let me look the quote up again because I
I'm
might
just,
have.
I'm just saying, if you need a reason, but I got to do a news article. I got to do a news article about three black miners in Florida allegedly killed these white girls, and the police chief put out the white the black boys their images. Now, mind you, these are these are kids. The news is it's not supposed to show kids, but they say fuck that. No, I want them. We need to get these little monsters off the street. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know y'all could do that on the news.
They said
But
that.
no, listen, I got the article when you see it, and I said, damn, I know why they put that out there. They expecting those people in Florida to kill them boys.
Mm.
They're not going through the court of public appeal. They're not going to make it. They're going to be dead by that time. They said a 12-year-old boy was the one who killed that white girl with a gun. I said, well, damn, how the hell did a 12-year-old boy do all that? He had to. We got the proof. We got the evidence. We got a confession. How did you get where was the parent when you got this confession? You see, when you start asking these questions, they're like, shut up. Mind you, the youngest person put to death in America was a black boy.
Yeah. And he didn't even know. He just was sitting there and damn, man.
They gave him a Bible and they put him in a suit and he just said, I thought I was going home.
Sit in this chair. We gonna go home, boy.
Yeah, sit in this chair, boy. You're gonna go home.
We're gonna send you home. Yep. Yeah,
Mike, I gotta get away from Mike. Why are you trying to? I gotta get away from Mike. Why are you thinking dark stuff? Sit in this chair, boy. We're gonna go home.
Shit, we going home, boy. That's messed up.
That's why I always look. That's why a black man asked me. He said, "Black people kill each other." And I said, "Oh, you know what? We do kill each other, okay." And then I started showing all these pictures of Ukraine and Russians, and I said, "Well, explain who caused all these world wars." I started showing all the world wars and stuff, and all the stuff of attacking certain countries. I said, "Well, damn, if we kill each other in America, then damn it, then I need to understand who kills more people in the world." Shit, I ain't got no damn bomber plane. I didn't make no damn nuke or atomic bomb. That man, I learned how to be destructive from my daddy, that white man.
Yep.
And I don't get my way. I just go burn down the Capitol.
It worked.
That was for America. Okay, my bad.
It worked for them. That's where I learned it from.
Thank you.
You don't do what daddy. You don't do what white daddy do, Mike. You stay on the porch, behave.
This is what I'm saying. Like we guys, that's all. We just gotta be careful. I mean, and see, I learned the most hurtful thing to people is when the fundamental belief system is disturbed, or it sounds like it's being threatened. It produces some sort of internal unstable situation in a person where they don't make sense, and they know they don't make sense. They just
because you have interrupted their cognitive dissonance,
right? But
and they're not ready for that.
But sometimes we are not sensitive when when we're presenting information. I kind of struggle with this because sometimes you do got to put it stress flat out, like whatever. but you do got to be sensitive because the intention, because what's happening here is the intent, just like with the pearly things thing. So these guys, you know, they were told, here's the white woman again. She's racist. She don't know nothing about what y'all dealing with. She don't know your struggles. She's just repeating y'all stuff so that she can, you know, get a bag, go get in there and get some money from you. And oh no, she's a great guy, you know, yada yada yada. It was the black women, they're so evil, and you know, the black woman is the destruction. And all right, so now you waste some time, and then now here it is, the bottom's falling out. She's proven herself, because you can only laugh for so long. Your actions are going to display. So here she is. They still, what does that mean? What does that, I mean, just like, what do we can't do nothing for certain folks. I don't know.
Hey, the word put it like this, you know a tree by the fruit it bears.
Right. That's my point. Because like I said,
I know
about that tree. You're right. I can lie about that tree. I can say, oh, this is an apple tree. Okay, yeah, because I want an apple tree. Yeah. Okay, yeah, here's apple tree. That's what you want, right? Okay. How do I know it's an apple tree? It's already sprouted. Man, it's an apple tree. And this thing, and I'm telling everybody, I got everybody believing this is an apple tree. And I start seeing a little grapefruit on it. What's wrong? What's wrong? We paid to come see this apple tree. We expected a certain amount of apples or whatever. Well, you know, you took pre-orders of the apples. You've committed, and so now you're under pressure to continue that lie, because now it's going to mean, to tell the truth, it's a loss of substance. And so people are under that pressure. They don't want, it's not only they don't want to admit that they're wrong, because that's hurtful, but also it's like, look at all this stuff that I invested. I'm going to lose it all. They don't even try to make a deal. Like, maybe they won't lose it all. Maybe they just have to do a couple of readjustments. Maybe some people, maybe they can get some apples from somewhere else. They might take some loss, but you know, but the point is, you can't keep operating off of a lie, and you know, not expecting just to get it blown up in your face. So that's what's going on there. Let me show a couple of pieces. Let's comment on a couple of pieces, and then we can get up out of here, because BMT brought up pearly things. I try to find something on her. I don't. Like, bro, seriously, I do not know. I do not know what's up with this chick, but people have, but the thing is, this is a channel that I hope everybody check out.
You want to act hiphop@gmail.com.
Oh, they live too?
And we'd be glad to continue this discussion.
These guys,
this is the time to start preparing, whether you're talking literally or metaphorically speaking.
Oh yeah.
This is the time to prepare your beds. Because here in the next few weeks, once the frost goes away, that's when you start putting your seeds in the ground.
These guys teaching how to farm and everything. Be one.
I hope y'all enjoyed this. Hey, reporting live.
Yeah.
From the garden. Live.
These brothers, they love. They're professionals. This is the kind of stuff we got to get into.
Garden. You can improve your community health.
That's the truth.
Awareness. Bring communities closer together. Actually reduce crime. And produce more fruits and vegetables for local food banks.
They farm.
I gotta say this, and let me cut you off real quick, bro. So one of the concerns from the community last year, and you know, it's a success story. And so there has been graffiti at the community center, and some of the members of the community was wondering if some of the kids were going to come and disrupt the garden, come and do something or damage it.
Share it.
Not one incident. Because guess what? The so-called kids that you think are going to come and destroy, their parents are eating, right? And so there's a respect when they see the people.
So I like them. I mean, this is, to me, because what was the first? What was one of your first commandments to Adam and Eve, right? Be fruitful and what?
And multiply.
They were
Be
land
fruitful and multiply.
the garden. You had to tend to that garden. That's right on the first. Ain't it was the first, second page of the first page. So if you can't deal with this here, you're not right. I'll say it that way. Your religion or whatever you believe in, if you don't know how to handle this, yeah. Okay. Okay.
You don't get to go to the next step.
Yeah. you don't get it. Here it is. Oh, he gave me, hold on a second. Let me get this. This BMT gave me a nice little. Hold on a second. Can y'all see that? No, y'all can't see that. All right. Let me show this here. But we gotta deal with that there. I hope y'all subscribe to them, start paying attention to them, get your kids. I'm gonna try to get into some of their programs. They got actual programs where they're teaching you how to farm. They're hooking you up with local farmers and local people who know how to do agriculture and stuff. And they, making sure that, because we are dealing with a decline in the society. The money is going to crap. And if you got some food, you know how to deal with your land. You can
still eat.
Right. And then a lot of times people got these apocalyptic little TV shows thinking everybody's going to start shooting and killing each other because they can't go to the grocery store. But guess what? If you tell people like how to, hey, let's work on this crop and protect this crop, then there's something there, because people lived before grocery stores was all over the place like that. somehow people made it.
Hey, you go out to the country, you'll see, I call them roadside grocery stores, where local farmers, got their own thing right there, and they stock up and you can just stop by and get what you need. It ain't Kroger.
Don't you gotta get a license?
And see, and that's the government right there. See, you gotta go get a license and get permission.
Capitalism. See, that's what I call capitalism, because anyway, we ain't gonna go too far in that, but I'm gonna hit the capitalism thing up. But maybe next time we'll start dealing with some of these government, because right now we kind of deal with a little bit of the religion stuff, and some of little bit of the reparation stuff. But maybe next time, if we have a discussion like this, we'll start getting on some of this capitalism and some of this economic stuff, because that's a big trick back there too. Because with the capitalist thing, we're supposed to love this capitalism thing, but really capitalism is actually the love of money. And what is the word there?
See, the love of money is the root of all evil.
See,
and the reason is because people are, not all people, but in general, people are willing to, those who love money are willing to do anything for it. That's why you got these clowns running around in skirts and carrying purses, and then the NBA.
Right. Yeah, you talking about LeBron James? Is that a
LeBron?
Real? No, is that
real?
Look,
hey, you know what? It might not be real, but guess what is real? That purse he picked up after they lost game 1 against the Golden State Warriors some years back. So that skirt picture, it might be fake, but that satchel he picked up wasn't.
Somebody made a bet. Hopefully somebody made a bet. He bet like I would do this, if I don't know, stupid stuff. But the point is, look, that capitalism thing. If you
that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Mike, hang on. I gotta go get it for you. That's the wrong one. I gotta go get it for you.
Okay. Yeah, that capitalism thing though. If that is, if you love money more than you love God.
Yep. You can't serve God and mammon.
Wait, what? Think about it. We gonna logically work with that. Okay, so you love money. So the people who have the most money is your God.
Yeah.
Because they can control you because they got the money, right? So you will do anything. Like I had one brother at work. It was so funny. So it's like like four of us. You know how you at work sometimes you have a little conversation. So we talking about regular stuff. And then now we was talking about like I forgot exactly how this came up, but the bottom line is we was like, it was indecent proposal or something like that. He was like, somebody could give you $1 million, and then they could have your wife or something like that. And people was like, well, maybe that and all that shit. I was just like, bro, I just walk away because I get it on my own. I get it on my own. And
that's right.
Then somebody, but they think it was like, are you saying that now? But you know, if the thing was presented to you, you know, then you probably talk differently. Like, listen, bro, it's like some of these guys. Then one guy was like, man, for what did he say? He fight for $50,000. I, basically engage in a homosexual act. I was like, and everybody just stopped. Like, what? It's like if you'll do it for that, you'll do it for 100. You dirtbag.
And you'll do it for free.
You dirtbag. Because like,
that's horrible.
Okay, what is $1 less? What is $1 less? What is $1 less? It's like, where's that line?
Yes, that's the problem.
And then,
but hey,
yeah.
The back of what I was saying earlier though about you can't question God. If you asking to attain knowledge, that's one thing.
Right.
But when someone says what you can't question God, I don't think they mean it in that way. Well, you know what I'm saying? They mean like questioning his authority, questioning his existence. I think that's what they mean, which ain't good.
Well, you can do that too, but the thing is, this is what I'm saying. Not okay. So usually when people say that in that context that we was talking, it's the same thing BMT said about with the government too. It was just like they will just nullify your whole line of questioning, where it's something like, like, so we say, oh well, how come when you start backtracking the logic of these decisions, we're supposed to be liberating people, how come we murdering their kids? Okay, so we're supposed, these evil people, we're saving them from somebody evil. Oh well, man, we just had somebody go in there and rape a bunch of their women and kids just now, and we shot them all up. So we're saving them from somebody evil. Well, they were doing worse to them. Okay, well, who's putting this out there to us? And listen, this is government-private conversation. You're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be asking this line of questioning. So that you're not authorized to deal with this. So
that's above your pay grade.
Yeah, so that's when that comes in. That's the same mentality of the no question God thing. It's like, okay, so if we're supposed to be God, then how come you enslaving us and I'm a Christian too, and you said you're a Christian and we serve the same God, but I gotta be living bad
for you to live good
because your fathers was Ham and you are of the Hamitic race, and what happened is y'all was messing around with Moses. You was his or whatever. Noah was his daddy, and he looked at Noah naked, and Noah was like, how you dare you look at me naked, since I was naked and drunk, and I'm the one that was naked and drunk, but you looked at me, and so you wrong. Not the one who was naked and drunk. So you the one was drunk and naked and running around doing whatever, because I seen you. I'm wrong. I gotta get cursed. My kids too, huh? Damn. He was a wood.
But that's their characterization to try and use that against us, when actually that's them.
Right.
Just
Well, they
them.
made that up. You know, they made that up though. They made that up in one of their translations. See, and that's the thing. This same group of people that we've been talking about, they got the chance to just they're keen on media. They know about media, and so
Manipulation.
yes, and so this is why we got to be very, very, very careful, because a lot of the media that we're dealing with, they have gotten a hold of. Their forefathers have gotten a hold of it. And, you know, we need to understand, because like I said, at the same time, the word is there. So it's going to get you, because you recognize and you harmonize with the word, and you're like, oh man, that is right. Yeah, this is good. And so it's going to be successful. But here they put a little something, there they put a little something, they take this out, they pick that out over periods of time. And it's like, yeah, we do this, and this just goes along with it. Well, why is this being done? Where does this little practice come from, or that? And now we don't want to hear it, because we think if this one thing we find a problem here, then everything got to go. That's not true. That's the problem with, you know, and that's what I mean with the church thing. That's why I had made that example with the church. Just because somebody in the church is doing something slimy, okay, well, I mean, just that don't mean that I gotta discommunicate myself from all my friends, and my children are going they have communion with good people. They're being raised around good friends, and you know.
I mean, but
Now,
bro, sometimes you got to separate.
Okay.
You got to.
Wait.
Let me give you an example.
Hold on.
Give you an example.
Let me finish
All
that
right.
though. Let me be
Okay.
clear. Let me be very clear. I'm saying that just because a person, now there is a point, I do agree with you, but a lot of times, soon as one thing, some of us, we got one problem. It's a wrap for a lot of us, and that ain't. I don't think that's good.
Okay, so let me give you the example, and I'm gonna get personal with my own life.
Mm-hmm.
I stepped away from the church that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go there. I don't take my family there.
Right.
My sisters continue to. One of my sisters actually has children. One of them doesn't. The one that does have children continue to go there, and so I don't know what they're teaching. And I'm not saying this is a direct cause from the church, but I can tell you it didn't help, because I have two nieces. Both of them are playing for the same team.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But in my household, I don't have that problem.
Right. So when you
'Cause
say the same team, you talking about what they went LGBT?
Yeah, they wouldn't let. Both two. Yes, I
Okay.
have two nieces.
So how did that?
I pray they don't decide to try and have an operation,
Oh my goodness. Okay.
but you know they have decided that they feel like this is what they have decided that this is what is best for them.
Right. And
And
okay, and like I said, hold on. And so not the thing is, I'm saying it's not that. I'm saying that there is not a point. So I 100% agree with you. So okay, but I'm saying to you that, but see, you still within the same belief system though. You just chose another home, right? I think. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, to deal directly with the word and not with some man in between.
Okay.
Because that's why Jesus came. So we
Mhm.
don't have to have anybody in between. We can
Right.
go directly to them and speak directly to the Father, speak directly to the Son. Uh and the Holy Spirit can inhabit us.
Right.
But as far as going to a building to get it from some man, Even when I was going there, and a young lad, they brought in a guest preacher one day, and you doze in and out on the
Lecture.
speaker, yeah. But he said something that I'll never forget, and it woke me up to what he was saying. Not that I agree with it or anything, but this is what he said. Out of everything he said, that caught my attention. Jesus was a homosexual. I
What?
can't tell you what. Yeah, thank you. I can't tell you what he said before that or after that. And dude, I almost stood up and said something to him during the service like that. What is wrong with you?
Now, who? So, did you just left, or did you try to get somebody to say something different
Uh,
and kick him out of church?
no, no, I don't need you to explain.
You go to them big church, huh?
Say it again.
You going to them big churches?
No,
You know,
no. I mean, it was AME.
it's
If you want to say big church, because it's a a denomination that's worldwide. I guess you could say big church in that manner, but it wasn't like Creflo or
right.
Eddie Long and New Birth. And even there, I went to a Bible study once with a couple of friends. This was many years later, and the guest speaker for that Bible study said to the congregation that, "Well, y'all going into this new building,"
Now let me
and
ask you
God
this.
told.
Though. Now hold on. Okay, now what do you say to that? That was a challenge. This man came into a church and said, "Now you can just get gutturally angry and say no and walk out, right?" But
Mm-hmm.
what is the smartest answer to that challenge?
Man, I was what, 14, 15.
No,
I
I'm talking
just
about
knew.
now. What would you say?
Oh,
I'm
what would
talking
I
about
say
now.
now?
Yeah, what
Whew.
is your response to that? Because what if somebody's listening, or what if you got 1,000, 100,000 people out there who believes that?
Okay, let me answer that
But
question
you know
with
what?
this. Another example.
And that's what I mean. Like, a lot
I,
of times,
something
yeah,
that actually happened, Mike.
yeah, that's my
I
point.
mean, Rashad Ritchie. One
Right,
day he wanted to characterize what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah as lack of kindness and not showing hospitality to the stranger. He said
wow,
that's why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. I
really,
called in and I called him on it. I said, so it didn't have anything to do with the men that was presented, those angels that were presented as men who came there, and all the people from every quarter of the city who had surrounded Lot's house and said they wanted to know them. When Lot came out and told them, I I have two daughters that haven't known a man. Basically, you can have them. And Rashad's response was, well, let's be clear. Lot was giving his daughters up for rape. This is God's providence right here. I had never thought of this before. Remember what I said earlier about you have it is something I know that I didn't know before. I absolutely know it. I thought about what he said later because I was stunned that he even said that. I'm like,
mm,
the only thing I could say at that point is, that's what you got from that? The Lord gave me this answer later. Not that I heard a voice, it's just
right,
that I understood. Lot was being like his uncle. His uncle was Abraham. Abraham was not going to spare Isaac. The knife was coming down when
right.
the angel showed up and stopped him and said, I won't require that of you. I'll provide a lamb.
Mm,
I never connected that before.
right,
And I didn't connect it. The Lord connected it for me in my mind.
right.
Not in the time frame to say it to Rashad Ritchie,
Right.
but it was for my
They
edification, for yours, and whoever else hears what we're saying here now.
right. Yeah,
But as far,
yeah.
go
That's
ahead.
my point, though. See, that my point is this: even though people make sometimes disingenuous arguments for their own little personal stuff, you got to realize that there are people who are actually confused, and if they believe this stuff, some of this stuff that we find ridiculous, you might find something ridiculous because of your life, you and what you're experiencing, and you might laugh at it. To you, it's so ridiculous, but when you laugh, the people who don't know nothing about it, who looking at it either way, they're like, "Oh, that's all you can do is laugh." He asked you a question, or he challenged you. I guess it must be true, So it's very. I know that sometimes it seems ridiculous to some of us, just like, some stuff. It's certain stuff that I know just because of my upbringing, that's easy and it's so public to me. I feel like, how come everybody don't know this? But
yes,
there's people that really believe the other stuff. They believe that Master Farad Muhammad was a criminal from New Zealand named Wallace Dodd Ford, and but whatever. I mean, I can say what I'm saying, but the point is, it's public knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But there has to be like a real good answer. So, what did this man say? Why did he feel comfortable with making that statement? And not only I understand you said you probably don't go to that particular church home, whatever. But my point is, like, what was his little logic behind that?
Like I told you, you doze in and out on the speaker because, for lack of a better way to describe it, they don't go. They'll grab one or two verses and do a whole sermon. Mm-hmm. Well, no, how about grab a whole chapter and do a sermon? You see what I'm saying? And they still continue to do that, so you never get the context of what is actually said, except for what they provide in the words that they speak, versus sticking to the actual substance, the word.
So this man came up there and said Jesus was a homosexual.
Yeah. I mean,
but what I'm interested in is, like, how many people was in that audience? About
it was packed. I mean, it wasn't jam packed, but it was packed. Like, it was a full service.
100, 200, 300 people.
Maybe 100 plus.
Okay, so like, what was the reaction of the people?
I don't even know. I mean, I was 12, 13, 14. I just know I heard what he said. And
so how long ago is this? Was that 20 years ago?
Man, I wish I was in my 30s now. What are you talking about? No, but it was we talking about the 80s.
Oh, really? Okay. So
yeah. This before social media and all that. Say again.
So back then they was pushing that in the church.
Bruh, what I have since found out what Rashad said about lack of kindness and not showing hospitality to the stranger is something that has been taught in cemetery school, not seminary, cemetery. Because when you pushing that, you pushing death.
So let me ask you this one last question, and we got to go because we could probably sit up here for a while. We got to do this again because we have past 3 hours. But like, so would you go to a church with preachers and stuff who was not licensed?
No.
Why not?
I mean, the license doesn't even matter. We're not going to church.
So that's my point to you. That's my question. Would you go to one that's not licensed?
No.
Why not?
Because, like I said, it's not about the license. It's about the substance of what the message is. And
well, listen.
I mean,
you understand my question though?
I mean, go ahead.
So when I hear that, when you say you would not go to somebody who was not licensed, but at the same time, you said the license didn't matter. So to me, that sounds like, you know,
I
that it
mean,
does.
the reason I say it is because when Jesus came, he removed that. He removed the fact that we needed a he became our bridge between us as humans and the Father. So we don't need man to tell us.
Right. So
You know, you can.
that's why I'm kind of confused. So you would go to a church if the preacher just spoke correctly, but he was not licensed.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? An example of that is what I did. I eulogized my uncle, my grandmother, my father, and my mother.
Okay.
I have no license and no desire to have one to say I'm a preacher,
Okay.
because for the things they teach you in cemetery school, not seminary, lack of kindness and not showing hospitality to the stranger disqualifies their license. You know what I'm saying? Disqualifies the what we've talked about before about uh black women, black men, whoever go to college, get these degrees that say, hey, you're smart, but then when you get out here in these streets, we'll use Dr. Wanda Stokes. When I spoke to her about Margaret Sanger, and we know the history, she said, and when I described Margaret Sanger to her, and she may have already known, I'm not sure, but she said, well, it's not about that now. What you
See?
mean it's not about that now? You got a whole doctorate, and she's a minister as well. You have a whole doctorate, and what do you mean it's not about that now? She laid it out to kill us, and y'all are fulfilling her mission. What's the word that begin? I can't say it. Posthumously.
Yeah.
You're fulfilling her mission posthumously. That's how you see it.
Yeah.
All the way around, when you come to think about it, I would love to hear that brother preach. All right.
I clipped this for a reason. I'm trying to see what I was looking for.
Ham was cursed. Black man.
Okay, yeah, this the Ham, the curse of Ham. We already talked about this a little bit. Yeah.
Descendants of Ham, and you read the descendants of Shem, you're going to find that they both have some of the same names in them. Some of Seba and
Okay.
Shining Star, which is actually talking about ancient Kemet. That was the Hebrew name for ancient Kemet, which the Greeks called.
Okay. Anyway, well, you know, like I said, I just went into stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Shouts out to Shahida. They said, wow, yeah, I was stunned too when the guy said Jesus was a homosexual. Like, man, look, I was sitting next to my God brother. We both looked at each other like, what did he say?
In the 80s?
In the 80s, bro. In the 80s.
That they didn't pick him up and take him and throw him on the curb.
You know? But I'm a kid, you know, but some things are just for us to recognize and do differently. Like I tell my children, like I tell my children, you can learn anything from anybody, even if it's what not to do. You see what I'm saying? You can learn that you're not supposed to do that by watching somebody else do it.
Right.
And
you gotta have a standard of right and wrong, though. That's kind of what we're dealing with this. But we're about to head it off. I just wanted to kind of let me see. I want to get a clip that we can finally present, and then that'll be it. Now I want to get your reaction. It was one clip that I was trying to find, but I didn't get everything put on this little program right early enough. I'll set up here, and it's a clip. Let me see, because these, you know what? So it's this thing called now I was trying to actually you hit us up with the the question of Rizla and the Quran and things. So that was a good one. So I get that. Yeah, because I want to make sure that people know that, you know, I'm available to get grilled too. So it ain't really a grilling, but just with the
Yeah,
conversation.
nah.
But you hear that up pretty good. And let me see here. Dang. But you know, like I said before, I like when people actually try to find the truth, because to me,
Other type of negative
people who say that
behavior, therefore every
you
concept
can't,
of God
no
that is
religion is good either,
obviously erroneous.
I can't get with that, because that don't
Because
make
if they
sense.
had the
Because
proper
the
concept of
people
God
who
laws
are
in them,
saying that, they're relying on religion for their safety.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for some kind of religion, you wouldn't even have a social order somewhere.
You know what
Chill
you're
out.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is something I heard a comedian say many years ago about you know, people say God isn't real. Well, that's like saying that table isn't real,
Right.
but you called it a table.
See?
So you know you done labeled it, but you telling me something you labeled isn't real. Not that we label God, but you get the concept. You
Oh
have
yeah.
acknowledged his existence by saying what he is.
Right.
But then you turn in the same breath, turn right around and say, God ain't real. How you say something not real that you acknowledge?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they could say that it's maybe there's some lies there, because they are right to criticize. There are lies mixed in with truth. So that's the fact. And there are improvements on it that need to be made, because what happens is when people get into this dogmatic mentality of a religion, now they have been taught that there is no changing in their understanding. Now, true enough, like for example, this is what I tell people: like, look, there's no change in God. No, there's no change in God, but you ain't God. your understanding need to be changed, because
Yeah.
what you think this thing here means is not what it's actually meaning. That's the reason why you're having problems here. See, because that's the problem with, like, for example, like I can believe that I'm gonna walk on solid ground, but if I step on a leaf or whatever over this water, and it's 100 feet of shark infested water underneath that, it don't matter what I believe. What's gonna happen is
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna do what
that's
I believe. I'm gonna do what I believe. I'm gonna step out on what I believe. So I'm gonna believe that this is solid, and I'm gonna step on it. But if in
look.
fact it's not solid, I'm gonna have a problem.
Hey, but look at the example we got though. Peter, when Jesus was walking on the water, Peter stepped out there, and he was up. He was up until he looked around and started doubting. Then he started sinking, and the Lord pulled him back up on his feet on the water.
But what does that mean to us?
Hey, we got to keep focused on him. We
Okay,
got to get we. I mean,
but
it means we have to keep that faith. We have to keep that faith, or we will sink.
okay, so you keep in faith, but see, this is my point. You can keep a faith, but that if you're doing something that's not supported by God, but you believe it's supported by God, how is
Oh,
somebody gonna? How is somebody see? Just like when the man came in the church, he thought he was telling the truth. Jesus was a homosexual.
I don't know what he thought he was telling.
No, listen. These people believe this stuff. And see, this is the
Yeah.
problem. This is the problem. Nobody want to be corrected. Nobody want to even consider a stand. Like nobody want to talk. Like nah, because and they got all these scriptures they can. Like I guarantee you, if you got up there and started trying to debate this man, he would have all sorts of scriptures, and he would have all sorts of stuff to try to.
Rashad, look, the bad Rashad's
Yeah,
point. He
yeah.
tried to use Ezekiel 16:49, and the
Mhm.
Lord. I didn't hear a voice, but I received the unction to look at it again, and I told him straight up. I said, "Sick. Did, did the seminary school you went to? Did the Bibles they used in that Ezekiel 16:49, or did they not allow you to read the next verse? Because the next verse refutes everything you say. Because the
But
next verse says,
see,
and they
Stanley,
were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore, I took them away as I saw good."
but Stanley, he
What's
got
up?
a doctorate. You don't.
Well, he can have his doctorate.
But guess
He
what
can
though?
be,
But my point is, but my point is though,
yeah,
if you at least don't have, but well, see right there, you had a logical response. Okay, but my point is, there's some of these. If nobody's producing logical responses to this stuff, then a true person who is confused. Now, Richie is not. He knows what he's gonna stay where he's gonna stay. But what happens is people come up, people, just honest people, come upon these little debates, and if all you can, all we doing is just laughing at somebody or insulting them, then you're losing that person. They're like, well, I guess this person, I'm gonna go with the seminary school because they at least got some. It looked logical, and guess so, and you laugh, but this is how they win. This is how they win, and that's why they got all these different people that goes into that system, and they are producing these believers.
yeah, this
Because
heretical nonsense.
well, we call it nonsense, but this is what's functioning. See, this is my
No,
point. Yeah, this
yeah,
is
no,
what
I said heretical nonsense.
right. And but guess what? These people, like I said, Richie, he probably we never know. He might actually believe that. There's people going to those schools, there's young people going to these little schools and believing in this stuff, this LGBT and all this different stuff with the God. They actually believe this stuff. So you can believe, you can have faith in something, but if it's not supported by God and his universe, you're believing and having faith in a practice that is going to produce certain problems for you, and you're not
Hmm.
recognizing those problems as the signs that God's telling you, hey, I appreciate your faith, but I'm not with this portion of what you're doing. You're making this mistake, you're making that mistake.
Yeah,
On,
yeah,
on
it's misdirected.
right. It's not that
Yeah.
you're a evil person or a bad person. I'm trying to show you signals. I guarantee you, every last one of us is making some mistake on some part of whatever word we seen. You
Oh,
think,
no doubt, no doubt.
yeah, but if you
And that's why I said it's not subject to private interpretation.
right,
'Cause-
yeah,
and if you look in the comments, Shahida said in the 80s they were teaching same-sex marriages in elementary school. Now that wasn't happening at my elementary school,
I ain't
but
seen
I
it.
don't doubt it. And bruh, it's I spoke to a guy. I was doing a job one day, and I was speaking to the manager, and this was when they were about to vote on this same-sex debacle. And this guy was Jewish, and he actually said that, well, same-sex marriage was always gonna happen.
And if you're
I laughed
married,
in his face. I said, "Since when? Since when?"
I guess they got sick of people having babies.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the Satan don't want you to be fruitful and multiply. That's for damn
So
sure.
you see this here? They show you these
Yeah.
crazy folks, and that white man, he act like he really care. He really cares, and he's trying to. Let me see.
Like a man that want to
have a home, have children, take care of them.
Did you talk with Timothy about how you were going to support the baby when you were pregnant?
No, that's what we didn't do. No, we didn't even talk about how we was going to support the child.
Timothy McSeed held his last steady job 2.5 years ago.
Look when they introduced the white man can't just let him talk for himself. He got to tell you about this man first.
That's the narrative.
He held his last steady job about 2 years ago.
Like he animal in the wild or something.
I know.
The
They're
way
just coming out here just observing the Negro out here, and these people don't even know how to take care of their own children, because they're not into no church, no religion, or nothing. Let me see how.
He's been arrested several times on robbery and drug charges. He was brought up in Newark by his mother, who was 16 when Timothy was born. His father has another family in another city. Timothy has a talent for drawing, which he has never developed. He dropped out of high school at 16 and spent 2 years in the Job Corps. He was 23 when he and Alice had their first child. Timothy does not support any of his children. How many children do you have? 6. He fathered those 6 children by 4 women. He also had 2 more children by 2 other women, but one died in infancy and the other was aborted. We asked him about the birth of his first surviving child.
It was kind of a funny experience because, like, me and the girl was just messing around, right? And she was going with somebody else. She used to be an old girlfriend of mine. She managed to get popped up by me.
Okay, that's the second baby. The third was...
Mustafa. He was the third.
That was by another lady?
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Ward. Yes, I go see him every now and then.
How old is he now?
He's 5. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna end it off there. But this is, we got, we just got some stuff that we got to deal with, and we had a decent conversation. But go ahead, say the final thing. I'll give you the last word.
Oh man, let the music roll, DJ. It's been great. I think we covered some excellent topics, and show, if nothing else, we show people that you can have a civilized discussion, and it doesn't have to be slights involved. It's just hashing out the differences and seeing what we can learn from each other. Right. With the creator being the center. What's up?
Can you hear something?
Where the music, DJ? What's up?
Hold on. Damn. I'm gonna play my old black spiritual. This is what my great grandmother used to sing.
One of them old Negro spirituals like Chappelle. It was cracking once.
Hold on. Can you hear that?
Okay, it's coming through.
Shall not be
evening.
We shall not be moved.
Oh yeah.
I shall not be moved, just like that tree that's standing on the water. I shall not be moved. You ain't changing me.
That's right.
Peace out.